Welcome back to the Box2Box podcast.
This is episode 24, and today we will be doing our power rankings.
But before that, we're going to be going into this week's games. Is Cole Palmer the greatest player in the Premier League right now?
And Man United embarrassing loss to Spurs. What does this mean for Ten Hag?
All that and more on the Box2Box podcast.
Let's go.
You ain't going home,
Your
bro.
Honor, I'm sorry. Your Honor, I'm sorry. If we don't compete with City, this is a failure of a season. You heard
Okay,
it
so
first.
I can already tell you, I'll tell you in advance, you failed. No.
I'm going to take central midfielder Federico Valverde.
What?
Yeah.
No, that's
He has
crazy.
been the worst midfielder for Real Madrid this season.
That's
By
like saying,
far.
that's like saying Neymar was the worst player in MSN. It was an eventful week in football. We're going into a Champions League week. Everything is good and dandy. There's no international break.
Thank God.
I mean, listen, we're flying high, boys, especially on that side of the couch. But Varvar, he's the odd one out here,
But
unfortunately.
you say international break creeping up, my brother. It's a week, 1 week more we have until international
That's
break.
kind of the only time that you guys have to, as Man United fans, the only time you guys have to be peaceful is when your team isn't playing.
You know, what's funny is that last international break, you were saying we have to come out swinging.
Well,
after
they
that
did.
international break.
3-0 to
They didn't.
Southampton.
Yeah, and they did. But now it's like, now you're back to square one, like before that international break. You know what I mean? You're
Brother,
gonna.
we'll get to Manchester United
Oh,
later
boy.
in the podcast.
But one of the biggest football matches of the past week was Firms and I were in our local Sunday
Yes,
league.
sir.
We had a big semi-final.
Oh boy, the boys showed up.
We grinded out a 3-2 win. Parked the bus for the last 20 minutes.
You know, Arsenal, just like Arsenal, you have to when you're up.
When your season's on the line, you have no choice.
And just like
Throw out-
Arsenal-
throw out everything.
Just like Arsenal, we had some card situation problems. So Firms actually got himself man of the match from me. I just gave it to him right now
Okay,
because,
clap.
bro. Okay, so it was a tough game, and there was a lot of counterattacks, whatever. So counterattacks when I'm a striker, it's a lot of pullbacks, break up the play, whatever. So I had a yellow card earlier in the match, and then towards the end, it's a guy's countering, and because they were playing a 3-back with the goalie. This is seven-a-side football, by the way. Because they were a 3-back and the goalie was pushing up. This goalie played for a university, extremely good on the ball. Like halftime, this guy's doing the Maradona kick-ups, like
God damn.
very, very good on the ball. So he was coming to support the attack. So they had 4, and so I couldn't press all of them at once. One center back's going up the pitch, and I just grabbed his shirt ever so slightly, but just because there was a little like tension, the ref like blew the whistle. Instantly, as soon as that happens, Firms' Italian
Dialed
instincts kicked in. He just runs in front of me and like says,
I'm sorry,
says,
guys.
like, I'm sorry to the ref.
Like
I'm sorry
I
to the
fouled
ref.
him.
And everyone's yelling, "C'est rouge, it's a red card," because I had already been on a yellow. So they're all yelling, red card, red card, red card. Firms
That's
goes,
funny.
I'm sorry. The ref gives Firms a yellow, and I walk away scot-free.
That was funny.
On
Like,
the tactical.
Bro, they were
crazy.
freaking out. The other team was like, it wasn't him, it was him. I'm like, guys, I'm sorry. And the ref is like, no, it was him.
That is.
He's the guy saying
crazy.
sorry.
Yeah.
You know? That was funny.
And another guy,
Simeone tactics right
for
there.
sure.
That's
for
the
sure.
Italian
That's the
mentality.
dark arts right there.
Yes, sir.
That is the dark art to
Goodness
speak
gracious,
of.
you just did a Uno reverse card on
That
the
was
brother.
funny.
Yeah.
That was funny.
But listen, we have a big final tomorrow.
Yep.
Very big final. Our team name, I'm actually not going to say our team name just in case people are looking out there for our team.
They've already gotten the league.
Yeah.
You don't want to give them too many pieces.
Yeah, I don't want to give them too
They've
many
done the
pieces.
research.
But I'm sure if they dig, they can find it. Actually, I just incentivized them. I'm screwed.
Yeah.
They're going to be on our final tomorrow.
The Patreon's about to see a lot of screenshots.
Yeah. But regardless, we've been in this league for, I would say, 6 years?
Even more.
No.
Since high
Since
school.
high school.
Yeah, since we were 16.
Since high school,
17. So yeah, 6-7 years, let's say. And we have never won a playoff.
We're like Spurs.
We won the regular season. We got the trophy for that, but we want to make the domestic double a reality.
We never won the playoffs.
And
And this might be the year. I don't want to jinx it.
Listen, I've been a part of a lot of finals in my days
You
with
have.
that team, but unfortunately, we never got the silverware. So I'm hoping you guys pull through for the first time in history.
I think both of you guys were there for a major
One final?
7-2 loss in a final. Were you guys
Yes,
playing at
we
that time?
played, yes.
Yeah.
Where we set up the biggest block of all
And
time.
then got
because-
dunked on 7-2.
Yeah.
We're Swiss
but
cheese.
no, but it's because we had played that team a couple weeks prior to that and gave them a good game. But
It was
that was
almost
like
a
the
tie.
best team in the
almost
league.
a tie.
Almost a tie.
Yeah, but it's because those guys were, I'm not going to, significantly better than us.
Those
Yeah.
guys were good.
So, yeah, we almost got it. The 7-2 loss was But that's because our star midfielder got a red card in the semifinals.
Oh, that was so
like a
dumb.
moron.
Yeah, in the 90th minute, like it was like near the end of the game too. Oh my goodness,
I
ridiculous.
still remember PTSD.
But you know, he's gotten red cards in multiple semis.
It's like Casemiro. Every card is yellow. Every
The
game
yellow
is
card
yellow
magnet.
card.
Like you guys have to give him a pep talk before.
No,
this
but it's
game.
not him. It's because like as a system we're failing, and since he's the midfielder, he just has to take yellow sometimes.
He gets targeted a lot.
Yeah.
Every time he has the ball, someone's there to foul
He's not
him.
getting yellows for yelling at refs. He's getting yellows for tactical fouls.
I
which-
forget.
no,
I forget
I'm
what
pretty
that
sure
red
he got
was.
suspended for yelling at
Yeah,
ref for our.
because he
Well,
said
maybe the
something.
first-
Happens a couple of times, yeah.
Yeah, once or twice. He's still old habits die hard. Pretty sure.
Well,
He's goaded though.
yeah, he's
The
goated.
best player.
He's Mel Kone.
I don't want to hype him up too much.
he's
'cause
Mel
might
Kone
be
teammate.
Screen recording.
Captain
As
of
a team
Ismail
captain,
Kone, by the way.
No, that was our other player.
Who?
It wasn't him that was
No.
the captain
No, it
of
was
Ismail
him.
No, it was
Kone.
him.
No,
Yes.
no,
was another one?
it was our fullback.
Oh my God, that's even worse.
No,
But no, it
the captain of Ismail Kone
Jersey number
Was
5.
whatever. Matthew was.
Yeah.
Matthew
It was Michael.
the captain. No,
Michael.
Michael was captain once, and he brags about it to this day.
You want me to call him?
And he drives Ismail Kone around once in a while.
I will call
But
him.
Matthew was the captain of the team.
Matthew's been the captain.
Don't make me call him because
I
it
played
was
against him a couple
Michael.
times.
Michael to this day will always say, "I captained that guy."
Yeah, once. He did it
No.
once.
He was his captain. bro.
Whatever. We're not gonna speak about. And Ismail Kone, if you guys don't know, is a Marseille player now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Canadian
Was just
legend.
bought from Watford. He is a Canadian legend
Yeah.
at this point. But yeah.
So regardless, point stands tomorrow. Very big final. Very big final.
But I see you guys are wearing a bit of drip here.
Listen, usually,
are we ever, bro?
usually we don't pull out something like this for the pod, but this was a special occasion.
That shit is gas.
Look, our boy Trujista. Now on Twitter, you guys might know him as Trujista Sancho, but for us, it's Trujistas, and you just
We're on a first name basis.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
he's our brother.
So he dropped a new collection. It's called Trujistas with an S at the end, and I mean,
This
these
is just one of
shirts-
them.
he sent us a bunch of
We'll
shirts.
pop up a video
Yeah, we're gonna pop up a
of
shirt
like
to the
of
video.
us giving to 360. But when I tell you this material is exactly what I want in my t-shirts.
Yeah.
I've already washed this and it's the exact same as before
I like
washed
the collar. The collar,
I
like,
love the tight.
I like when it's
I
tight.
love the tight collar, but
Yeah.
like, bro, feel this material.
Yeah, I know it's good.
And all,
we have the same one. Me and Palak.
It's a shirt that we debate wearing out.
Oh,
Because-
I wore this.
Yeah.
and I've
Yeah.
gotten compliments.
This Saturday actually I was going out and I'm looking at the I got a glory Man United shirt. I'll pop up a video right now. This shit gas. I was
Yeah.
looking at myself in the mirror. I'm like, and it's good because I like oversized fits. And if you go a size up, it's like a perfect
that's the
oversized
thing,
fit.
Like you boys, you know I'm a big boy, you know what I mean? So it's tough for me to find something that's comfortable, but like this, I think this is an XL if I'm not mistaken.
It is.
It fits perfectly.
Yeah, it fits
for me.
nice.
Well, actually, if you want to know the sizes for any, I mean, you guys seen
Yeah.
us tall, like standing and whatever. Millie, that's an XL.
That's an XL.
I'm wearing a large, and then you guys have medium.
I got medium. Yeah.
I actually got a look.
small?
I like oversized. Like I said, I
You're
like
so opium,
oversized.
bro. You're just so opium.
I look. I think the perfect size for me would be medium, but I got a large.
yeah.
But
But I think the perfect size would be
Oh,
medium.
you bought a medium, you brought it back a large.
So if you're 6'5", if you're 6'5", you should get a
An XL.
medium like me.
a medium if you're 6'5".
Yeah, I'm 6'5",
Oh, okay,
right?
please.
God
Oh,
damn, bro.
Okay, don't listen to that.
But
do not listen to that.
the graphics on the front and back
Yeah.
are actually very drip.
Oh, you got Ronaldo.
Yeah,
O Fenomeno.
listen, I'm not gonna toot my own horn, but I think this is the drippiest one.
No.
This is that one is
Bro,
very drippy.
Oh, you got
Legends,
Neymar.
Yeah.
You got
I-
Roberto
I love
Carlos,
this one,
Pele.
bro. I get when I
Ronaldinho.
tell you I don't get compliments wearing anything else. I get compliments wearing this shirt.
The back on this one, I love it. He like it wrote a whole paragraph
Yeah.
on the side about like him winning the Ballon d'Or and whatever.
1997.
That's pretty sick.
No, this is part of the rotation. For a
Jogo
while.
bonito.
But no
I'm
girls.
not gonna lie.
No girls are giving me compliments wearing this shirt.
Soon,
We'll work on that.
I got some looks.
Maybe his next
Obviously,
collection.
I can't say anything. though. I can't say anything.
You
I just
can.
know I got looks.
Oh, you got looks.
I only got looks. I can't say anything though.
Looks are my currency. Anyway,
yeah.
but
so if you guys want to support a fellow creator, and for sure it's good. It's like definitely a good product. So if you guys want to support a fellow
and
creator,
if you're listening and you're not watching this on YouTube, then
There's gonna be a link.
there's gonna be a
down
link.
below.
There's gonna be a
Yeah.
link.
So
for you guys
check
to
it out on the Instagram.
for sure.
Do your research, but
For sure.
quality.
But keep killing it. Keep
Yeah.
killing it
Yeah,
because
exactly.
he's been making some crazy.
Yes, sir.
Listen, all I'm saying, I'm comfortable doing this podcast right now. I don't think I'm gonna have a Millie crash out this episode because I'm so comfortable.
oh, we'll see
Oh,
about
yeah,
that
we'll
in the
see
power
about that.
rankings. But before we get to the power rankings, we have to speak about
I have something to say.
yeah.
Boy.
Can I get official confirmation? Ten Hag is officially Ten Hag out. Every Manchester United fan should agree on this.
Varvar, we need to hear those.
I'll let
three
you
words.
guys speak first. If you guys were Manchester United fans, would you be Ten Hag out?
I need a United fan to agree with me. Forget them. I'm sorry. I need you to agree with me.
I'll give my opinion in 2 seconds.
Let's give him
Brother,
silence.
I mean,
What is there to say?
The one thing about Ten Hag is that when he loses, brother, you lose hard. It's not even like a close fought match and you lose 2-1, brother. 3-0, 4-0, 7-0. Unfortunately, this cannot slide for a manager of a top club.
His tactics are all wrong. He doesn't know the players that he's fielding are not correct. Today, he went with Ugarte and Mino in the middle. Bruno Fernandes gets the red. There's no balance in that team. I just find he doesn't know what he's doing, and he's playing the underdog gimmick. It's not good.
Regardless of the red card against Spurs, I think at the beginning of that game, this was the worst playing out of a press challenge I've seen in my entire life watching Manchester United. Manchester United, Old Trafford, and I hate Manchester United, but I will say this, Old Trafford used to be a fortress. Sir Alex Ferguson is rolling watching
Well,
this.
bro, even under Ole and Mourinho,
Yes,
Mourinho had the longest home undefeated streak in Manchester United history. Ole was a beast at home also. It was more away where he had questions, but Manchester United at home are terrible.
Embarrassing.
And there's Sir Alex Ferguson still comes and watches your matches.
Yeah, well,
They showed him a couple times.
So
on
does
screen, don't
Rooney.
worry.
Rooney was there too in the stands.
Bro, imagine watching your club decay to the point where a delusional manager, which probably if asked in an interview, Ten Hag would still think he's doing a good job. I won trophies, eh? I won a couple of
okay,
trophies.
I'll speak my word.
Thank you.
I'm done with this, brother. How do you go into this game thinking you can get this result playing like that? How? I don't understand.
It's a player issue, bro.
It's
No,
not. No,
no, it's a
I
player issue.
completely disagree with that. I think our players are good enough, and I think our players personally are better than Chelsea's starting 11. Personally, every single one of our players, when you go on international break, they are probably the best players for their national teams. Ugarte for Uruguay at Copa America is a baller. Comes to Manchester United, he's ass.
Brother,
Bruno Fernandes for Portugal is probably their best player.
No, he's
He
not.
comes back and you can barely pass the ball. No player under Ten Hag has been properly used. You can't speak of one player in that starting 11 and say, you know what? I think he's being maximized. He has not maximized one person in that starting 11. And look, I'm going to say I'm Ten Hag out. Official. This brother's cheeks.
The 3 words have been said, boys.
I gave him the benefit of the doubt at the beginning of the season because you know what? His first season, I would actually say his first season he did very good. I think that was probably one of our best seasons. As if you look at a season as a whole, consistency, one of our best seasons after Sir Alex Ferguson.
What?
Well, the
Well,
standards were low.
after let's say Mourinho's second
standards were low.
place and Ole's second place, I would say that's third.
Look at the comparison.
Okay,
Second
third.
place is our comparison.
Okay, but it's been a decade since Sir Alex Ferguson
You
retired.
still don't. Go ahead.
What do you mean you still don't? I'm saying last year was shit. So you think, okay, new owners, we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. I still think he should have been given the beginning of the season to see how it would have been figured out. Now that he got the beginning of the season, we are still shit, but now we're playing attacking football, but we're still shit. So who really gives a shit at the end of the day? We are ass. This brother needs to go, especially when there's options like Tuchel available.
Allegri's still available in the market.
Very true.
Don't ever say that in my presence again.
What I can't believe is how much the team has digressed in a sense. You guys do not attack with the same teeth or the same bite that you guys used to. Hoyland, I give him. I think he has maybe 2 appearances for United so far. He's been a ghost for both of them, even if in small roles.
Brother,
but
he came off the bench
Yes,
twice for 25 minutes, and
I
one was
agree.
with a man down.
I agree, but
Xerxes, when he gets the
Xerxes
ball
was
in
not
the
that
box.
Great.
Me?
Xerxes has been good.
Xerxes has been good.
there was
Xerxes
a
has been
couple
a.
Xerxes has probably been, I would argue, our best player this season. so
This is
far.
not a
has
player
no
issue.
offensive threat.
That's just
That's-
He
He
has no
instantly
offensive
wrong.
threat.
That's just
You're-
wrong.
You're
He
looking
doesn't.
at goals.
Hoyland has threat. Xerxes has 0 offensive threat. He's a support striker. That's all he is.
Forget even the attacking phase. Defensively, you guys have been shaky. Licha Martinez has digressed. I hate to say it because I really love the guy. I love the way he plays.
Oh,
No,
now he's digressed.
okay.
He was the best in the
Can
world.
you guys-
Yeah,
stop
well,
the reactions with United
I
players?
don't think look, once again, Licha Martinez goes to play for Argentina.
One of the best
He's
in the
one of the
world.
best center backs in the world. I really don't think that this is a player issue. I think before Ten Hag got appointed, there was a player issue. A lot of the players that we were relying on, like Fred, like Scott McTominay, like Dan James and stuff like
Fred,
that.
the starter for Brazil?
There are not. He was never a starter for
was.
Brazil.
He was.
And that was in Brazil's worst ever midfield because they did not have. As soon as players like Bruno Guimaraes started getting developed, Fred did not ever step foot on the pitch again. And now look, like Mourinho said, look at where they end up. Where did Fred end up? Fenerbahce. No mean to disrespect Fenerbahce. Actually, I'm disrespecting Fenerbahce.
Do not disrespect Fenerbahce.
Fenerbahce is not a club that Manchester United players that
Why
when
you
they're
say fucking
finishing.
fool?
Okay, whatever.
Fenerbahce
there
fan.
needs to come a realization that the players now, in my personal opinion, are good enough. They are good enough. No player in the starting 11, in my personal opinion, you can say has been used properly.
It's been 3 years that Ten Hag has had these players, and he's picked up a couple, like Anthony. He's picked up De Ligt from Ajax, and you still don't know if they're playing counter-attacking football, possession football. There's no plan there. So I don't think it's a player issue here.
I think they set up to play out of a press versus Spurs and then got completely overwhelmed when Spurs committed like 7 men forward. But the system was set up to play out of the press. The quality of the passes just weren't there because
Yes.
the outlets were there.
But my issue with that is that Spurs before Ant showed up, you could say, oh, they couldn't play out of a press. Do you remember under how
Conte.
bad it was under Conte and Mourinho for Spurs playing out from the back? It looked like they weren't able to do it. Ange comes in. It doesn't take 3 years for Ange. It takes they started hot out the gate, Spurs, last season. They went undefeated at the beginning of the season. So it did not take long. In my personal opinion, the issue is not the players. Players like Licha Martinez in the past have proven they can play out of the press. Dalot, Mazraoui, Onana, you should have no issues playing out the press because these players have proven that either you can even go back to Ajax, but I can say even at first year Manchester United, first year under Ten Hag at Manchester United, Licha Martinez was one of the best center backs in the world playing out of the press. All these players have reputations in international football that they are world-class players. Now, with a new manager, I think personally Thomas Tuchel would be perfect. Nagelsmann's the dream, but I think Thomas Tuchel is worth. And I said this summer, if
You've
you could
said some harsh words about
if you
Nagelsmann,
could
but-
get Thiago Motta, go get Thiago Motta this summer. They didn't. Look at how that panned out.
Because he chose the better club. United shit. You guys deserve this.
Thank you
I don't
for your
feel bad
in-depth
for you.
analysis.
But clearly, Ten Hag has failed at Manchester United. Do you think that's a management problem?
I don't think he look. Call it quits now. I think he was better than Jose personally. For me personally,
Yeah, but what I'm saying is,
he was the second best. I still say Ole for us was by far the best after Sir Alex Ferguson.
but with all the options that you listed, is this like, do we blame the management as well because they selected Ten Hag to stay?
They couldn't find a replacement this summer. That's on them.
But I don't think
they even
I
searched for a
think
replacement.
they did. I think Ten Hag deserved this. I think he definitely deserved to start this season.
But then,
No, you don't.
in my opinion,
Yes, he did. His first season was an amazing season. He
What'd he do?
overperformed so much with the team that he was given. Bro, he was still using players like Fred and everything, and he made it. He finished third in the Premier League. That's a good season with the squad that he was given.
that should not be the standards, Robert.
But back then, when it was the standards, because we were not competing.
You were still spending 250 million every summer.
Every team in the Brighton just spent 200 mil. Spending, first of all,
At that point, they did
this
not.
summer, if you want to say that excuse, we actually we spent not a lot this summer.
First Ten Hag summer or first Ten Hag full transfer window, he spent more than other teams.
Yes, but what you have to understand is that when we're constantly changing
But
managers,
he bought a bunch of Ajax
can you
players.
listen? Can you listen?
Bro, I've been listening for 5 minutes.
No, because
10 minutes.
I'm going to give you the history as to why spending a lot for one manager at Manchester United does not really mean you can change quickly. Jose Mourinho was given 200 mil every transfer budget. He spent it on players that are completely against Ten Hag's style of play. So players like Fred and Lindelof,
I know what you're getting at.
and
I know
Harry
what you're getting
Maguire, where these players are deep block, are not going to really be on the front foot. You're spending 200 mil. So you go, oh, well, Manchester United have $1 billion squad. Yes, they do, but it's $1 billion spent on players that can play one way, and then half the squad can play another way, and then another half can play the other way. It's not a cohesive idea of squad building. That's why now with new owners, where, in my opinion, the first summer, I still think that we did really well in the transfer window. I don't think that you can go through our signings this summer. Maybe Ugarte, but for me, the jury's still out on Ugarte. But for me, I like De Ligt.
I think those were good
De Ligt
signings.
is good. I think Xerxes was good. I think
But he was
Euro.
shit. Before he came to United, he was shit. That
we've
was
had
your.
this
That was all of our words.
because the price of De Ligt when he joined Juve, he was not. He's
No,
not,
not
he's not
Juve.
an 80
Not Juve,
million
Bayern.
center back.
Bayern
Even
and for
Bayern
Netherlands.
was what 70 mil transfer.
How would you rate his Euros this summer?
It was
Shit.
Well, he barely played.
Didn't play.
He didn't play.
Exactly, bro. You said
Okay,
said
so Ian
at
Matson
Bayern-
had a shit Euros because he
but
didn't play.
now De Ligt's
No, he
playing-
actually didn't play.
But De Ligt's starting for Netherlands now. Last
Yeah,
last
and he had a
international
shit
break he played.
international
And he was
break.
shit.
But
Yeah,
De
I-
Ligt at Manchester United right now, he's for me at club level, he did not have a good performance against Spurs.
I don't know why
but I
new
think he's had a
owners-
good start.
Your new owners didn't create new policy. If they
did.
No, because
I'm
if
sure
they
they
thought if they thought that Ten Hag isn't a long-term success, because they were looking for they were looking for new managers this summer. Why didn't they only support the purchasing of players that are just universal instead of players that he's
that's
coached
what
at
they did.
Ajax or players that
But you
come from Dutch
once
systems?
again, you think that it's just Ten Hag said, "I want De Ligt, go get me De Ligt." You think that's what happened?
So then why is he only signing Dutch
But
players or players
that's what
that
you
he's
think.
managed?
But this summer, Xerxes was a market opportunity. 40 million
De
for
Ligt,
Xerxes. 40 million for Xerxes is a good deal. I think unanimously everyone here can agree 40 million
Bro,
for Xerxes is a good
he
deal.
bought players from systems that match Ten Hag's way of playing.
Yes, but that's our style of play going forward. So for me, if you sack Ten Hag, if you're gonna keep buying players that fit a certain style of play, sooner or later, give it 2 years or one more year, you're gonna have a 23-man squad that fits one style of play. Who that manager is, it doesn't matter. If they fit that one certain style of play, you're gonna have a
I would
squad
agree with you.
that can be sustainably good.
I would agree with you, but those are Ten Hag signings.
Like
now-
right now, if Arteta, if let's just say in a crazy fantasy world, Arteta gets sacked.
Yeah.
I think if Arsenal were to appoint a Thiago Motta, there would not be that crazy of a turnover.
wouldn't be.
But I think if Arsenal appointed a manager, which manager can I say? Like Ange Postecoglou,
Oh, he's
I
chilling.
think it would.
We'd be fine.
No, I think Arsenal would miss Champions League. The squad would be insanely not suited to a club
And
like
what style is that that Arsenal aren't suited to play?
a very high press. Well, you guys do high press. I'm not
Exactly.
gonna lie, but
Our defenders can keep up with it. Like we can play.
I don't think your
We can
defenders
play
keep up
Ange
with it.
Postecoglou football. Absolutely no problem.
I think the Ten Hag sign, like, I don't think it's very. It's unfair to label those transfers as just Ten Hag
are.
signings because I don't think
This
so.
summer was not. The summers before, I completely agree with
I
you.
I see it as almost building blocks for, let's say, Ten Hag leaving, because those players I could see them playing under another coach's system, not just Ten Hag's system. De Ligt
Ugarte is the only one in my opinion.
Ugarte is
De
could
Ligt,
be very good.
Mazraoui, Xerxes are all Ten Hag
Mazraoui
signings.
for 15 mil is a good
Like,
deal,
yeah,
whatever
that's a good
way
deal.
you
You
look
can't
at
pass
it.
It's a good deal. It's a good
You
deal.
can't pass those up.
But the brother is playing in his perfect position right now.
Yeah, but listen,
I
those guys are
agree, but
professionals playing
Mazraoui
at
has
the top
started
league.
very well for Manchester United.
But it's his perfect position as a pure.
What are we? What's the
No, I'm-
debate here?
that's a-
Mazraoui is a good signing.
Yeah, but that's a Ten Hag signing in my opinion. That's a Ten Hag demand, like not demanded, but said this is a good deal. This is the guy what I want for my system. They
But
supported
but
that.
I don't think if a new coach comes in, Mazraoui all of a sudden is thrown into disarray the
So,
way he plays and
I can
whatever.
see him.
So
I
when-
can see him becoming useless. Whereas
But even if he's useless, let's say you
15
sell
mil.
him, you just get your money back.
Well, no, it's a good signing. Mazraoui is a good signing. But now, say Ten Hag does get sacked, you think it's going to translate to another coach, this whole team?
Yeah. I think it's just going to be better. I'm not going to say we're going to be Premier League contenders as soon as we get a new coach, but it's definitely going to be more. For me, my issue, like I said before, I said this twice already. No player in this Ten Hag system is maximized. There's no player. No, like
I
you
know-
can't go through. Maybe the only argument for me is maybe Diogo Dallo. That's the only player, in my
That's been
personal
maximized?
opinion, that you could say
That's the best
he's
he got.
playing his best role that he could possibly play right now, and he's
he got.
playing the best.
But you don't see, like, look at the Spurs game, and the result was pretty bad, 3-0. Don't you think that the players were at fault for a lot of it? They couldn't beat out of the press.
Look, I'm not saying this. It's 100% on Ten Hag, but you're putting players like Andre Onana. Last season, I had to watch Andre Onana kick a ball long the entire season. Andre Onana is not a. If we still had De Gea could still do that. Why do I need Andre Onana to just kick the ball to half field the whole
He's
time?
a ball player.
brother. That was your whole reason why you thought he was so good. Is that he can kick the ball up the field.
No, because it was a coaching instruction last season. If the thing about Onana is that he has good long
You
distribution.
bought him to do that.
Yeah, very good
No,
long
he
distance.
has good
Shot-stopping is
distribution all
mediocre.
over the
Yeah.
field.
He's able to thread the needle into that midfield, pass it out
That was
wide.
never done last season.
Because the instruction, like you're saying,
It's
is
just kick the
boot
ball
it
to
up.
you see Hoyland up there, yeah. You see that big Scandinavian fucker up there, yeah. Just kick the ball to him. That's
But you
not
told me-
a sustainable strategy.
But you told me when Onana signed with United, you told me that's exactly. You were showing me comps of him sending long balls to wingers.
Yes, but the issue with that is that when it's the only thing you do with the goalkeeper, then that, like the other team's gonna game plan
Oh,
for it.
so wait, a goalkeeper that can't stop the ball but can kick the ball far.
First of all,
isn't
that's
good.
so
Listen,
insanely wrong
yeah,
because
versus
Onana's one of the
Spurs-
best shot stoppers in the Premier League since he
should.
joined.
He
Versus
should have
Spurs,
stopped
he
the
was
ball.
very good. I'm not gonna lie. There was even with a
Made a
man
couple of
down,
good saves, I can't
that
lie.
game
What
should
about
have
his
been
midweek
5-0.
game where he let in an absolute shitter versus who were you playing? Which shitty
FC 20.
Yeah, FC 20.
But
yeah.
you see,
that's pretty bad.
people like you,
Bro, it
you
happens
have
all
such
the
low
time.
IQ
That was an
It
Eriksen
happens
that you
all
mistake
just
the
too.
cling
time.
on to one mistake
That
that,
wasn't
you
Eriksen's
see
mistake.
every
It happens-
couple
bro,
months.
that wasn't
you
Eriksen's
just say,
mistake.
oh
Eriksen's
my,
mistake
like
is
you're gonna
separated
bring up
from
the
the goalie.
Galatasaray mistake of last year.
Bro,
It was
happens
last
all the
year.
time.
Yes, but you don't look at every single time Onana saves us. Like Southampton, he saved us
What, the
from
penalty
that.
stop?
Yes, bro, the penalty stop. That's a 78% chance goal.
Bro, you what about all the
If
pens
Di
that you did this
Gregorio
to?
does that, you're going in on Sunday night while we're recording. Di Gregorio's the best goalie in Serie A.
Bro,
Ultimately,
you're
I
just
don't
mad.
think Onana is the problem, but
Not
Not,
his shit.
not even close
He's
to
not-
the problem.
he's not the problem.
even
That's
close
a
to the problem.
building block.
I have a question for you though. People like
Pretty shitty
Rashford,
foundation.
do you still have stocks invested in them?
Bro, I personally do like Rashford. I just don't think I think he's not being maximized right now either in this system.
But
when
he has a
he
lot
was
of
at his
faults.
best, when he was
Great player.
after it's when Ten Hag first season used him best, he was a lot closer to the goal than he is now. Now he's a touchline winger. Rashford is not a touchline winger. That phase went a long time ago when he got injured and
Lost
lost. He's still pacey, but he lost his pace. That you say, oh my god, this guy's so much quicker than everyone else.
So is he gonna find his form under another manager? Do you think?
No, because they won't use him as a striker.
I don't
no,
think
but
so.
I'm not saying use him as a solo striker. If you have Xerxes and Rashford, let's say playing two striker formation,
Hoyland at home.
Hoyland can play both. Can play either the Rashford role or it depends on your. The thing about our squad is that
Yeah,
I think that you can.
it's just so mediocre.
You're not ready to have a rational
Listen, bro,
conversation.
Rashford, Hoyland, Xerxes.
So is it a player issue
where's
or a
the-
manager
where's
issue?
the elite option?
Or
at-
you think
at
it's
the manager?
complete anarchy at Manchester United
think
that
it
you
is.
think all our players
No.
are shit, our manager's shit, everything about the club is shit, the owners are shit. You also said the owners are shit. So everything
I
about
think
Manchester United is fucked up.
The new owners. I don't know. Like I don't know the ownership, but
I think
so
they're
far,
smart.
I don't see much has changed.
Well,
to be honest,
I think it does take a lot of not necessarily time, but you need to develop that. I think Ten Hag, as soon as Ten Hag leaves, they bring in their own guy. Then you could start
bro, they're
judging
0
that
for
ownership.
2. They chose to keep
I don't
Ten
think
Hag.
it's 0 for 2, bro.
That's a management
You're about
choice.
to, we're about to
That was
speak
the
about
status quo.
Chelsea in 2 seconds. Chelsea,
I'ma
if
shit on
you
them
say
too.
Enzo Maresca is a good signing or for them, then they're 1 for 6. So what's the point?
But that's two
don't-
cheeks of the same ass, bro. They're both bad.
Listen, last thing we'll talk about United because that was we gave you some time for that team. But if you had to take, let's say, 1 or 2 players, like new manager comes in, you don't want them on the team. Who would you say like those players?
I'm not
are?
ready to say it because I think if they're, I think we have a
AKA.
starting 11 of players that you can say is good. I think our base starting 11 is good. If the new manager comes in and says, okay, I can use 8 or 9 of these players and I want to kick out 2, sure, kick out 2. And honestly, if Bruno doesn't fix up, there's too much reliance on him for him to drop shitter after shitter after shitter.
If you
When we-
consider him world class, he needs some type of pressure
but
on him.
bro, he goes to Portugal. He's the best player on Portugal without a shadow of a doubt. He goes to even when Ten Hag started, he was good. Under Ole, at one point, he was a top 3 or 5 Premier League
So
player.
it's a management issue. That's what it is.
I don't think he's being maximized. And I think that there's too much reliance on him. Personally, I think there's too much reliance on him that whenever he drops a bad game, we're playing bad. And that should not be a thing.
I agree, but listen, Vavra, I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see what happens with Ten Hag. But
Fuck him. Ten Hag out.
I don't feel bad.
The switch up.
that's crazy work. But listen, we'll head over to Chelsea because listen, Enzo Maresca's got those dogs playing pretty well. I think not a lot of us had them doing this well.
Enzo Maresca shouldn't even be spoken about. The real question here, go Millie. What's the real question?
I mean, is Cole Palmer the best player in the Premier League, brother?
Listen. Erling Haaland and another one in second place. He's in the top 3, but to say he's the best player after scoring 4 goals, that's ridiculous. Why
think
are we jumping the gun? It's just unnecessary reactionariness.
It's a little bit. It's a little bit reactionary when you still have Haaland, who's better. You have Salah up there, who consistently week in week out balls out.
Okay, so then he's 4th.
He's third. You do not want to put
Wait,
Saka
wait,
in
wait,
that
we will-
conversation.
Saka is
look,
way better
here.
than Cole Palmer. I'm
Oh
sorry.
my God!
boy,
What?
he said
Bro,
it.
let's not be stupid. Let's not be hipsters firms.
Saka's 4-goal first half performance. Did I miss that? Or-
I've never seen him score 4
Saka,
goals.
the guy that's put an assist up every single game this Premier League season.
Brother,
Did
he
you
has
know that?
he scored 4 goals, Palmer.
Oh, he scored 4 goals.
And
Bro,
a
lift your
hat-trick.
trophy. Lift your trophy, bro.
Right now in the Premier League, I don't think there's a player that's carrying his team more than Cole Palmer.
Without Cole Palmer, Chelsea lose that game against Brighton.
Put him in Saka's position. I know not on the touchline where Saka lives, but put him in the Arsenal system. He's worse than
Look,
Saka, that's for sure.
You're talking to Cole Palmer's #1 hater. I was his #1 hater. Hands up, my brother. He's cold, bruv.
He
cold, bruv.
Brother, it's
You got
too cold, bruv.
you got a new fan with me. I like those chippy chips too, bro.
What?
Bro, he's funny in interviews.
Okay.
That brother funny.
Puma. You said 4th. Phil Foden or Cole Palmer.
Cole Palmer. Just because we don't see Foden.
No. And you
We haven't
think
seen
Saka
Foden.
is better than Palmer, but Foden is not better than Palmer. Foden.
So Saka's better than Foden.
I'm confused here. Saka's better than Foden. I'm confused.
Oh my
I'll just
God.
say
That's
that.
Premier League Player of the Year.
Oh
there,
my
brother.
God.
Okay, game tomorrow. Cole Palmer or KDB?
I mean, KDB,
Cole
KDB
Palmer.
won't
Very
be at
quiet.
that game. He's a
Cole
little
Palmer.
injured.
KDB will have stomach flu.
No, you see, I think Cole Palmer is beneath Haaland. I'm not gonna list them off, but Cole Palmer for me is probably number 4 or 5.
Who's third?
I would say Salah, KDB, Haaland are clear.
I
You know
mean,
what?
KDB's got to play.
We're
to be on
forgetting
that
it.
list. In my opinion.
That's why I
And I would probably put Foden also, so 5th.
The thing
And
is
Saka.
that Palmer's impact in the games is so major. Like every time he has the ball, you know something's happening. His passes is perfect. He's a goal scorer. Like you have a perfect player. He's exactly what you need.
But I did say whatever I said about him, about Saka, whatever. World class. Regardless, world class. Because
I don't think that's a conversation anymore.
No. I just want to reiterate because I still appreciate game when I see game. Brother, that's exceptional. I don't know if he just doesn't have like the gene in his head, like the Messi, you know, like the same way Messi doesn't have it. Like he just like, it feels like football's natural to him. But the brother doesn't look like football's natural to him. He doesn't have that drip to him. But a couple of the passes and his decision making on certain goals where I'm thinking, this guy's doing it without like, I don't want to say it, like I hate to hype up Leao, but Leao has that trait too. Football comes natural to him. Like you see it, how
It's the
effortless.
X factor.
Yeah.
The argument that I could see is you take out Haaland out of Manchester City, they're still scoring goals. You take out Phil Foden from Manchester City, he's still scoring goals. Wait, listen.
You take Haaland out of City, they score goals?
Of course
Yeah.
they do.
So who scores
They
the
did-
40,
they
who
did
scores
no
the 40
matter
goals?
what.
Who
I
scores
mean,
the 40
that's
goals
still
a year?
distributed amongst midfielders, wingers.
yeah.
No,
and
that
the
wouldn't
second
happen.
tower.
Who,
Yes.
Doku? Savio? Who's scoring
That's
the
like
goals?
They're
saying-
still winning a Premier League without
That's like
Haaland.
saying-
They
No, they
already they've already won 2 or 3 without him.
They won
Screw it.
multiple Premier
Before
Leagues
him.
with false nines. It's brother.
But you
KDB
can't say the goals won't be like the goals will not be there if
But
Haaland gets removed.
What I'm saying, I'm talking about importance here. You take Cole Palmer out of that Chelsea squad, brother. They might be like mid-table, even below.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
No, there's that when you could see a player's importance for his club, you know right away that if they're gone, they are in trouble.
Chelsea without
No,
Cole Palmer.
no.
Chelsea without Cole Palmer, I'd argue, is worse than Manchester United right now.
Bro, Pedro Neto and Kunku, Nicholas Jackson
Pedro
and
Neto
Sancho.
has
Has done
3
nothing.
goals in the last 3 seasons.
He has done nothing.
Okay, I don't care about
You
that.
can't
I don't
say
care
that.
about that.
You in aggregate, you cannot replace Cole Palmer.
Okay, throw on another winger, but Sancho and Kunku, Nicholas Jackson, I think is a very, very good front line for the Premier League. Regardless of having Cole Palmer in there.
But Cole Palmer
is an exceptional upgrade to that. I agree. But I think regardless, Chelsea still have a pretty solid.
But they're not third.
That's
in
not
the
the problem.
They're not third in the Premier League without Cole Palmer.
I don't think they're third in the Premier League regardless.
They're 4th right now, but
I don't
Well,
like.
fourth, sorry.
I don't care about their mid random stats. Like at the end of the season, they will not be third. I can guarantee that.
I mean, if they do end up 4th or 3rd or whatever, that's
Bro, there's no
that's Cole Palmer.
tactics. There's no tactics to
That's-
Maresca's
that's
game.
cap. That's-
It's just run around, bro.
That's
no,
There's
there
no
is a lot
tactics.
of just Pochettino ball involved here because a lot of it is countering. It's a lot of countering. It's a lot of
Bro,
counter
it looks
ball.
like a FIFA match.
But look, you give Maresca time, bro. I look, I don't rate the brother, but give him time, bro. You have to at least give him a bit of time.
Bro, he's trying
and
to
he's
play that
working, and he's
Ancelotti
working
ball.
with a big squad like all the other
That'll
managers
give him.
were.
That'll
So
give him.
you have to let him implement his ball. They're all young, so you have to give him time. But for me, Cole Palmer, I'd give him the word generational now, to be honest. And the way that his teammates gravitate to him, that his teammates know this is the, like, I don't want to make it sound like it's more than it is, but this is the alpha. Like, this is like,
That's the alpha.
He's the leader of the locker room.
he's the leader, bro. Everyone looks
the
to
alpha.
him. If something needs to happen, everyone looks to him.
Oh, Chelsea's cooked.
No. I
he
don't think
is
that's
that
good.
game
The alpha.
changer.
Okay, I have a
Bro,
question.
Saka is the alpha?
No, he's not the alpha.
So who's the alpha?
Ugats.
Alpha or
Martinelli.
most important player?
Probably
Alpha.
Odegaard.
Bro,
Bro, if Odegaard's your alpha?
Bro, are we wolves?
Cooked.
Are we wolves? Like, not the team. Are we wolves? Are we animals?
Every
Who
team
gives a
has
shit about
every
alphas?
good team has an alpha, bro.
Who's United's alpha?
Bruno Fernandes. But that's why right now.
He's the
I mean,
alpha.
yeah, he's good.
The leader
Yeah.
of the rat pack, bro.
The
He's
rat
the alpha.
Okay, but Man
You're
City,
cooked.
Haaland's the alpha.
Bro, just because he just because he moves around like an alpha, no one's looking to him for comfort in a game where it's stressful.
When
Oh, Haaland or
push
Bruno.
comes
No
to
one,
shove,
no
Manchester City
No one.
look to Haaland to score the
Bro,
goal.
in that Arsenal game, they were not looking at Haaland.
What he's saying is that the player that could
He's
change
rating-
games is Palmer. For Man City, it's Haaland.
I don't think that's
For
what he's
Liverpool, it's
referencing.
Salah.
When
For
te-
Arsenal, it's not Saka. I'm sorry.
when teams
He's
game
not like
plan,
Palmer.
when teams game plan and they play, let's say Chelsea, number one on the checklist. How do we stop Cole Palmer?
Okay, that's a different story. That I agree. Then Haaland would be that alpha because versus Inter we saw it, but also to point to your why I think Haaland is so important is because in the Inter game you guys put so much effort into like locking up Haaland and you did a great job at that. But in the process, you allow guys like Gundogan and stuff like that to get into the box, to get into dangerous spaces.
Yeah.
That's what makes Haaland so special, even in games where he doesn't score.
But like Cole Palmer opens up space for players like Sancho and Jackson.
But it took a very long time for people to figure out where Haaland moves in the pitch. Cole Palmer, we might see a plateau at some point where teams in the Premier League start figuring out the way.
Yeah,
he
but that's
moves.
when you see players like, as soon as you stop double teaming Cole Palmer, first of all, they're still double teaming him.
He's
now.
already getting double teamed.
But
and
let's
he's
just
already
say
winning that.
he plateaus while being double teamed. At one point, teams are gonna be like, okay, we don't need to double team Cole Palmer anymore, and then you're gonna see that flip switch again.
No one did that to Haaland.
It's too much quality, bro. It's not like it's luck. It's just. You watch the game and he's just significantly better than everyone else.
Man City
Okay, I'll
fumbled
ask
the
you,
bag.
Cams, just to see where we feel. The last thing about Cole Palmer, I want to see where the bar is for Cole Palmer. I'll ask outside of like Prem, let's say. Okay, you need a player tomorrow. Verts or Cole Palmer?
Cole Palmer. Next.
You?
Cole Palmer right now.
I mean, it's already a two. Regardless of
No,
what
no,
I say,
no.
I, like Wirtz.
I want everyone's. Okay,
I like Wirtz.
You can take Verts. Musiala or Cole Palmer?
Cole Palmer.
You're absolutely crazy, bro. What are you talking about?
I don't think you could say Cole Palmer is like maybe top 4, top 5 in the Premier League, and then say like easily you would take him over Musiala and easily take him over Wirtz. I find
Bro,
that
we
like,
were having-
not an
Musiala
easy
wouldn't be a
conversation.
top 4
Musiala
or
would be
5
top
player in the
3.
Premier League.
Okay, wait,
brother.
Bro,
Oh,
Haaland,
boy.
KDB, Salah are clear of Musiala.
Bro, Musiala or Leao?
Musiala.
Oh! But then when we have the Cole Palmer Leao debate, no one backs me up that Cole Palmer's better than Leao.
But
Oh, but there's a but
this
now.
year, Cole Palmer took a step up personally.
Bro, that debate
In
was 2
terms
weeks
of
ago.
no, but in 2 weeks a lot changes, bro. Four goals
scored 4
changes a
goals
lot.
in a
That
week.
changes-
Nothing.
Bro, 4 goals changes a lot.
Okay,
Leao
I'm
has
gonna
yet to do
continue
that.
my Cam thing.
And he was man of the match 2 weeks ago also.
Okay, this would be pure stupidity. Jude Bellingham or Cole Palmer.
You see, that's the conversation.
That is not the conversation. This is a dummy test.
I think if you put Jude Bellingham in Chelsea, I think you see he would not do what Cole Palmer is doing right now.
I don't.
But I also think
These are
Cole
different
Palmer
players.
Yeah,
would have a
completely different
harder
players.
way to adjust to Madrid
Just saying,
because
you have a team tomorrow. Who do you want? That's what I was referencing.
if I'm playing with 10 shitters on the pitch and just that one player, I'm taking Cole Palmer. But if I have a team of stars, I'd probably take Jude Bellingham. He's more useful.
Any
There's more-
other big name Cams we can think of?
KDB? I said I'd take KDB.
Yeah.
Okay, KDB.
For one game, maybe sure. If he lasts more than 25 minutes.
Aside from that, you'd have to compare him to wingers, which I'm not in the market of doing right now.
Yeah.
Whatever. Cole Palmer, different. Gravy.
different right now, I think.
But once again, he is overperforming XG and everything, so we do need to take that into account. But he's proven that he can overperform consistently. So we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. This brother's different.
All right, I think that was
That's a very long
a quick
intro.
update.
Producer 2, how deep are we in this right now?
Poet.
40 minutes.
God damn.
We're gonna have to
Power
run through. We're
rankings
gonna have to
quick.
run through our
Power
power
No,
rankings.
no quick, bro.
No quick.
The viewers like long podcasts.
Okay.
We
So-
do how long it takes.
Okay.
I got to take out my list here.
Yeah, take it out, bro.
I'll start, and I have 2 teams for my number 10. Okay.
2 teams.
Two.
me,
No,
we're allowing
listen.
this?
We're gonna decide
10A,
who
10B.
goes in as my number 10. Which one's more valid?
Okay.
Okay. My 2 teams I'm debating for number 10 are Aston Villa
Other one, the other team.
and Napoli.
Napoli.
No.
Well, actually, none of them.
Yeah,
None
neither
of them.
Napoli.
Bro,
I'm gonna
Aston Villa's 5th right now in the Prem. They're playing very good football. They won their first Champions League game in a dominant fashion.
I didn't realize 5th gets you top 10
What do they play
the
in?
entire
Who do they
world.
play in the-
They
and
played
Champions
not very good. Young Boys.
I just wanted to hear it. Sorry, I knew exactly who they played. Because when Juve beat in dominant fashion PSV, we don't hear anything. But it's okay.
I took that into
Sorry, I'm
account.
just being
don't worry.
salty. I'm just being salty. But so you said Aston Villa or
Well, if Juve played Aston Villa
Napoli.
today, Aston Villa to win.
okay,
Oh, that's funny.
cool.
But if Napoli, I think, are more on form right now. Like the team that
Bro, Napoli
Conte
look good.
inherited.
Napoli look good.
Napoli looks
They look
seriously good.
They look good.
But Conte loves a good form patch. He
No.
loves a good
Yeah.
form patch.
Well, I mean, versus
Conte's
Juve-
form is the entire league
You
season.
got to take into account
Unless
like
it's with Spurs.
Juve as well.
You did good with Spurs.
He had a rough start. The first game was a little rough, but I think right now Napoli, you could have an argument. But
I'm sorry. I'm gonna just say it. This is not even biased. He got absolutely penetrated by Juventus.
no,
in
excuse me,
bro, in a 0-0.
Penetrated
is not biased.
Bro, they sat.
Penetrated-
Did you
no.
watch? You guys watch the
Yeah,
game?
of course,
You probably
but-
slept through the game, bro. They sat 11 men at the back. That was the Conte said. I don't want to concede 11 men in the box
that's
from
what
the first
Conte
minute,
does.
bro. From the first minute, they didn't intend on scoring. They didn't intend on nothing.
They almost
I'm sure
created
they
as
intended
much
on
as you.
scoring.
But we created nothing. So you created a whole lot of
It's
nothing.
just,
So,
it
so
was
what you're
nothing
saying
versus
is that
nothing.
Conte game planned perfectly to play against you,
He got 0-0.
and
if
you
you're-
created nothing.
bro,
you
if he's
said.
a top 10 team, you should be taking it to them.
But that's away.
Did
He's
Atletico-
doing it away.
did Atletico
so
sit
right
back
now,
versus Real?
next game, you need to go and play at Napoli at home and get a result.
If it's open play, we smoke them.
I
But
don't know.
but you see that's
But
so
it's
the
not
manager needs to set up his team to
was-
to lose.
But
if
that
it's
game-
open play, so what should a smart manager do?
No, but what I'm saying,
not make it open play.
What I'm saying is he didn't go into the game hoping for 3 points. He went into the game playing for 1.
So,
I don't think so.
So a
It
team,
can't be.
a team
He did.
showing up with a midfielder, Zambo Anguissa, McTominay should try and tiki taka out the back.
But those guys you speak of in a negative fashion are players that they bought this summer for Conte.
yes,
So
and in every single game other than Juve, it has worked dividends.
Spalletti took Juve head to head and beat us. That's the
You were-
ballsy manager.
you were-
Did he not?
But
Spalletti?
that's
Spalletti
when
took Allegri
but
man to
that's
man.
when you were doing the exact thing of what Conte
I
was
know,
doing.
and I am against it.
Yeah, but I think
It's beta ball. It's literally beta ball. I'm gonna start a quote.
Yeah,
beta
but
ball.
Conte is not doing that 38 games a season. He's just doing that against you.
I know, but
And then the
who are
other
we that we're so
36
big?
games of the season,
he's winning 2-0.
he's winning
1-0.
2-0 or
Listen,
1-0.
Napoli's first or
Yeah,
second.
Right now
They're
they're
first.
first off of
They're
1
first.
point.
They're
first.
tied in first. Okay.
No, just first.
But also you look at their past form, but then going into the future, can I see them consistently week in week out fighting for that top spot? They're kind of
sure.
convincing me
Yes.
right now.
They don't have
but-
They're
Champions
not in
League.
Europe.
They're convincing me right now, but currently they're not in my top 10. They're in my 11 to 15 spot, but for my number 10, I'm just going to segue out. I have Atletico Madrid as my 10.
I have
I also
Atletico
have
Madrid number
Atletico
10.
Madrid.
Here we
I
are.
don't even have Atletico Madrid in my list.
I know that's what I was
I also
saying.
think-
You
I
kicked
also
somebody
think-
out like Atletico.
Yeah.
That, in my opinion, they're what are they second place in their second or third in La Liga.
third.
They've been very good this season, and they just tied Real Madrid
Yeah,
in a
but they
head-to-head
played
match.
Rayo Vallecano, I think, last week.
And
Or
they tied. Or they-
yeah, but they got dominated. The whole
wasn't a good game.
game, domination.
Yeah, but this is one of the best Atletico Madrid we've seen in a while. Like
Oh,
this
I
is one that
agree,
we could.
But for me, they're probably 12 in my.
I don't
my
know,
list.
bro, because this is an Atletico Madrid that you could say contends for the league.
Well, they're
No.
resilient.
Yes.
No. The way
I don't
Barca
know.
and Real Madrid have started the season, in my opinion, you can already look. I was hyping up Atletico Madrid before the start of the season, and I wasn't rating Barca. But the way Barca and Real Madrid look out of the gates, I'm not gonna say it's
It's a
done
long
yet.
season, bro.
You're
It's a long
underrating
season
Atletico.
because what
But-
happens if they get knocked out of Champions League? Atletico Madrid.
Yeah,
I know it doesn't happen to Simeone, but let's say in a reality where they do, they don't have to worry about that. They have no Europa League, and let's say Barca and Real still have to worry about Champions League. I can see Atletico making a serious push Or at least second over Barca or
I think that's the
Real.
best case scenario is one of Real Madrid or Barca fall off and Atletico
I wouldn't
somewhat
sleep
pick
on
up
them,
a
bro.
consistent amount
I
of
would
points.
not sleep on them.
But I can't see them finishing first.
Like to think
Maybe
Napoli
next
or,
year. Let's say they get
Napoli-
another investment summer.
They did
I can-
improve this summer.
Yes, they're definitely more threatening than they were last year. But I just can't see them threatening Barcelona or Real Madrid.
Honestly, right now, I think Conor Gallagher's been their best signing.
He's
so
been
far.
insane.
Julian Alvarez hasn't really been that great. Like he scored versus Rayo Vallecano. I think
He has
scored
2 goals
The
in like
90th
Yeah,
minute.
5
90th
games.
minute, whatever. Yeah, Sorloth
has been ass.
inexistent.
Yes.
non-existent. Sorry, and who else they signed?
Well, Lenormand has been great.
Lenormand's been very
Yeah.
good.
The thing about Atletico Madrid is that it's a team I do not want to play ever because these guys
You
will
dread
get a
them.
tie or win. There's no losing for Atletico Madrid.
I think 10 right now is very, very reasonable for
Yep.
Atletico Madrid. You got a decent result versus Real Madrid. We were watching the game, and I told the guy, I said, if Real Madrid end up winning this game, that Atletico might be off this top 10. But they were resilient. They scored a goal when they needed to. They tied it. I can only give them kudos for that. Your 10th, boys. Who is your 9th place?
Aside from a slip up versus Rennes, I think Paris Saint-Germain have shown
Nine?
an absolute beautiful bounce back after getting rid of Mbappe. I
Nine?
think yes, they have no flaws. They've had absolutely no flaws.
That's low.
You know
Oh, you're
what?
saying
Favre?
higher?
9th is low.
Listen,
There's a lot of teams I got to fit in there.
the one thing I agree with you, I think it's very tough to fit PSG anywhere close to that top 5. I think they've been playing very, very well. They've been
Barbara,
convincing.
I'll tell you why. It's sorry, Millie. to
Yeah,
cut
no,
you
go,
off.
go.
It's a little bit biased, and I hate shitting on leagues that I don't watch like consistently. Where I'm watching majority of their games. I don't watch Liga that much, but when I do, I'm sorry, the quality is not the same quality that Atletico is playing week in, week out. It's not the quality that Napoli is playing week in, week out. The two teams we spoke about prior. It's Liga. To have those convincing 3-1 wins, whatever, I want to see it more. I want to see it more in the Champions League.
I think
We'll see.
Listen, you're winning 6-1 to or 7-0
Montpellier.
to.
6-0.
6-0 Montpellier.
Yeah, but I'm pretty
I
sure they
respect
won.
Montpellier, but-
PSG won their first game in Champions League.
They're
also.
they're undefeated
did.
right now. I
They
believe.
did.
I
They
don't know
won
about
1-0
undefeated.
against Girona.
They tied one.
They
Yeah,
tied
they're
Rem.
undefeated, but they tied one game.
Yeah.
PSG
I think it's very respectful. I could see the argument in putting them higher.
Yes.
Because I do think they're a very good team. But for the 9th spot, I have Juventus.
Not on my list.
I was considering.
That's crazy.
I'm not even gonna react to that because that's just idiotic.
The thing is that I'm also taking Champions League into account. You beat PSV, which listen, bro, they are undefeated, 7 wins out of 7 in the Eredivisie. They were a very, very good team domestically, and Juve went in and beat them 3-1. The draws, whatever, you could chalk it up to just Motta trying to work out his team or whatnot. I do think they're a very good team, and defensively they're the best in the league, probably top 3 or something in all of Europe. 0 goals
Sorry?
allowed. 0 goals allowed.
Defensively, we're breaking records.
Yes.
And in a manager that I still claim to Varvar is not a defensive manager, but
He is. Now he is.
he's not. He's not even having to defend.
Well, no, even at Bologna, he was a defensive manager.
But he's not even having to defend. I've never seen this form of football.
Well, when your best players are probably Bremer and Gatti, I feel like that's
Like the
it
ball
relies on defensive.
it never
ability.
gets to our zone. The ball never gets
For
to
me,
our end.
and look, he's gonna freak out, but it's tough for me to put Juve above Napoli right now.
I don't
a
see
power
the
ranking.
arguments. I really don't see the arguments.
Napoli have been more convincing in the league than Juve.
Recently.
Other than Napoli's first game of the season where they did not play well and lost, they've been way better than Juve attacking wise while keeping clean sheet after
Tied-
clean
tied to
sheet after
Juventus.
clean
Yeah,
sheet.
but when
Literally
they
tied to
faced
Juve.
each other, because
Yeah.
that's the barometer here, it was
It was
pretty
a
much
stalemate.
a stalemate.
Yeah, but I think Napoli, their offense is significantly better than Juve.
That's the
Juve
one thing.
in
It's just
look, if
stupidity.
we're going under, if there's no underlying metric that says other than XG conceded, which you guys are dominant, but Napoli are top 4 in XG created and in XG conceded. You guys are first in XG conceded, but you're 14th in XG created or 15th in
Bro,
XG
But
I
this
created.
don't care about these stats. I watch the games. We're
I
just-
watch the games also,
I'm not
and you
sure you
guys
do,
are
bro.
not
I'm not sure you
offensively
do.
that dominant. You guys are defensively dominant. You guys
Bro,
are
how
gonna
many
pick up
3-0 wins do you want?
You have 3 draws in 6 Serie A games. Let's calm down with these.
But that
Oh
was
my
early
God,
on.
we're winning after game. We're winning every
3-0
game.
games.
Motta has dropped points in 50% of his Serie A games.
And 3-0 wins.
I think that's really hard.
and a
No,
3-1
but it's
win.
not. It's
You
not
can't
hard.
discredit
Motta,
that.
I'm not discrediting it.
Yes.
But a draw is dropped points. It is.
But mind you, Milan has dropped points. Inter
I'm
has
not
dropped points.
saying Milan and Inter are these amazing sides. I'm saying that Napoli, with 4 wins out of their 6 games, are a team that are more likely to go into a Genoa or a lower table or mid-table club and get a win. They're more likely
Well,
than
we
Juve
just beat
right
Genoa
now.
3-0.
Right now,
We're
Napoli.
proving we can do it.
Yeah, but
Napoli is
Napoli
tied
win
on-
every single game against lower mid-table
No,
clubs.
We tied to Napoli, which is the team you're speaking
home,
so
at
highly
home.
about. Okay,
So
this is the
say
team
at
you're
home.
speaking so highly about.
At home.
We tied to Empoli, which is a team that firm. How many ties do Empoli have this season? Versus big teams.
They're undefeated.
So
They're
you're saying that's an
undefeated,
acceptable
but
result?
Empoli
okay?
is not a good team.
Okay,
Yeah.
but Empoli is an exception because it's not just some shitty Serie A team.
No,
This
no.
It
a
is
team
a
that-
shitty Serie A team.
Okay, they're undefeated regardless.
They always cause problems.
And versus Roma, which that was a game where we should have won. I'll agree that's a game we should have won, and that was
So
multiplied
Empoli's a
attack.
game that a draw is acceptable, but Roma is not.
For a manager that's been there for 3 games. Yes, I'm sorry. Yes.
Look, Thiago Motta has been doing a decent job to start off this new Juventus. He's had his pieces. Like, defensively, he's been insane. You can't deny that.
I agree.
So
But there's
what are you
there's
debating?
an other side of the ball also.
Which is offensively.
Yes.
And
which
that, in
he
my
has
opinion,
been
goes up.
subpar.
But
I don't think that's on him. That's on Vlahovic.
But okay, but when you're comparing to a team like Napoli, you have to say Napoli have been a lot more convincing going forward than Juve.
Listen, if you could at least get those draws and those clean sheets, you could build off of that. If
But
Vlahovic
there's too
starts
many
scoring,
draws. There's too many draws.
a draw is already a good
but they've
result.
won-
No,
they've
it's
won-
not.
but they've
It's
won the
not.
last
If you're
two
trying to
games,
win a
Barbara.
league title, draws are not acceptable results. You need to go for wins.
No, what I'm saying-
wins matter the most.
What I'm saying is that a draw is a good basis because once you keep getting clean sheets, that means that your attack, if Vlahovic starts scoring, Juventus could go to the top very
Vlahovic,
easily.
once again. He
But
did
then-
start scoring. He's outperforming his XG. So this is the best
do you
you're
see
gonna
that?
get. Look at the stats.
Listen, I don't want to get into XG because I think it's just a way of you debating, which I don't agree. Because Napoli
Okay,
have seventh. Napoli are 7th overall in XG.
No, that's wrong.
Yeah, they are.
Bro, you think I would just like? I'm
Okay,
looking
how
at the,
close
I'm
are they
looking
to
at the
top
fact.
four?
We need to top 4. They're 7th.
Yeah, but how close are they to top four?
8.9. 4th is 10.1. That's a big gap considering Fiorentina's at 9.1.
And what are
Roma's
Juve at? 6.4 or 6 point?
6.7. But we have 9 goals.
Yeah, exactly. So you're outperforming your XG.
Napoli has 11 goals. So we're outperforming by the same rate.
I think both teams could go far in Serie A. Like these are two contenders.
I personally
just-
come out. Go. Sorry.
It's just how consistent can they be? I think if Juve keep that defensive record solid, like even if you concede a couple, they are much
needs
more
a million
defensively
goals?
solid than Napoli, in my opinion. Napoli do have some cracks, but recently they've hidden it very well because of Kvaratskhelia, because of the performances of McTominay, who I do think now is actually a very, very good signing for
Yeah.
Napoli. But Napoli, Conte sometimes he gets caught in his own game. Like he gets in his own way sometimes where he overthinks too much about certain players and how they should play, and then they slip up. I saw that Inter once or twice in his first season as well. But listen, Juve, if they did not have that defensive record, I would not probably have put them in my top 10. But they do have the best record. No goals conceded. You cannot just blindly say.
3 games also they got shut out.
But the last 2 games that they beat PSV and then they end up being Genoa 3-0.
But 3 games they got shut out.
I understand, but that I chalked that.
You're looking at
but I'm
at
looking-
one half
yes,
of
but
the whole game.
Yeah, but Inter, when I put them, I think 5th last power rankings, we just got off. Our first game was Genoa 2-2. We didn't have a great result. We lost versus me. Like,
Well, look, my 9th is Inter. So
I
Okay,
don't,
before you get into that, I'm just gonna say my 8th and 9th because it's 9th PSG and 8th is Juventus. So same thing that we've talked about. But yeah, Inter, you put them 9th.
Yeah.
That's very low in my
I
opinion.
personally don't see it this year.
Listen, I won't say where
So
I put
far.
Inter. I won't say where I put Inter, but PSG, I have them 8th. I do think they're a very, very good team. I want to put them higher, but the teams ahead have faced much more competition. Not saying PSG's not facing competition or whatever. I'm just saying the consistency of the other teams facing much higher level of competition is just there. PSG, I think you're a very good team. I think you're going to do well in Champions
I don't
League.
know. If you're
but
going against PSG, you gotta be scared because these guys
I
have a
agree.
front 3 that smokes so many of them.
Somehow they got rid of Mbappe, they got rid of Ugarte.
Who's the front 3?
And they got better.
Barcola, Dembele, and Asensio's been playing striker. But when Kolo Muani plays,
But
there's-
Asensio hasn't been that great. Kolo Muani
he
has
hasn't
been
been
the
that.
better
Yeah,
player.
this has been better.
But I do think they're putting the pieces together.
But just Barcola alone, this guy is the most direct winger in the world
Yes,
right
but
now.
it's not a top 5 scary front 3 for me.
Champions League, I'd be a little nervous. I'm not going to lie. But I think 8th is a solid spot. Not because you're bad. But
I think it's a
Wait, you have 8th or
casualty.
9th?
I have them 8th.
PSG?
Yeah.
Okay, I had them 9th. You guys
Yeah,
all
I
said
got
your
them
8th?
9th.
Yeah.
9th and Juve 8th.
My 8th is Inter, and it's only because
Wow.
That's fine.
no, but it's really only because I see so many teams contesting for like the 5th spot, for the 6th spot, that like I had to find some sort of order. And Inter, I only say this because the bar was high for Inter.
Yeah,
Because
I agree.
if it was like a season where last season you guys were like whatever mediocre, you finished 2nd or 3rd or whatever, basically Milan, then I would be like, then
Above
this
Juve.
season is exceptional, a tie to Man City, whatever. But for me, the bar is you should be going head to head with a team like Man City.
So Vavra put them 8th as well, right?
I put them
Or 9th? Or no, 8th.
8th,
I'm pretty sure you said
no 9th.
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 You put Inter 9th? Crazy.
I find that's a little low because we did get a good result. The Milan loss, I think that was a very tough pill to swallow for me because we won the last 7 in a row. But I look at that Champions League match, just like how I look at everyone's Champions League matches, their first match. We played very, very well against Manchester City. I think we even played better than the CL final, if I'm going to be honest. Yeah, don't nod your head, brother.
No,
I've
CL
seen
final,
both.
you could say you deserve the win. I don't think you deserve the win against Man City.
I think there was a lot of
Pretty
opportunities.
50-50.
Who's saying they deserve the final win?
I
I think Inter outplayed Man City in that final.
do think
the
we
game
played
that
outplayed.
the game that we watched, the most recent Inter Man City. If one team had to win, I would probably argue it was Man City, but
100%.
Inter
I
played
don't
well.
think so. I think we had,
But
we had a
Inter
lot of
played
good
well.
goal-scoring
You
opportunities.
you
Gundogan
played.
missed 2 like literally open.
Yes.
sitters.
Even Thuram missed. Mkhitaryan missed.
Yeah, Thuram
direct
did miss.
sitter.
in front.
But once again, if one team had to win that game, I would say draw is probably the
Fair
right
result.
The fair
result,
result.
But I would probably lean towards Man City.
Yes, I agree.
But that CL final, you guys outplayed them. You should have won.
But the thing is that I think we honestly played better. Not saying that we deserve to win, but I think just system wise and everything, we played better. We're in the midfield. We were a lot more dominant than I thought we'd be. And overall, I think this Inter team is good. Defensively, monster problem.
Ass.
Monster problem. Because I'm not going to blame just a Cherby or something like that. I could blame Mkhitaryan. Mkhitaryan, yes.
You blame Mkhitaryan way too much. This
Because-
is a defensive problem.
But-
Inzaghi has no idea what he's doing with defense
I
anymore.
don't think he has no idea what he's doing. He's just a little too
failed.
fluid. He's too fluid in the defensive zone. You see Bastoni drifting to the center back position. You see Achedbi playing right wing back sometimes or left wing back. It just doesn't make sense why you're having players that when you have to track back, you have Achedbi trying to run down the wing to get back to his central
yeah,
center
but
back
you
position.
can't rave about Inzaghi's positionless ball, and then when the positionless ball becomes positionless ball,
No,
you
but
start
it works. It works for about
crying.
It works for about 9 out of those 10, 11 players, in my opinion. The players that it doesn't work for, Achedbi. Players that it doesn't work for, Darmian maybe.
Bisek.
And- No, Bisek has been very
But
good
these are all players you rave about.
because of their serviceability and the fact that at that age they're still putting in top performances. Not saying that they're bad.
But what changed from last year? Because these are the same players.
They got a
You
year
didn't upgrade.
Well, you're older. Everyone got a year.
They're
older.
aging
It
in
really
dog
doesn't
years.
matter.
They are.
So why is it Cherby starting, but like a player like Pavard doesn't get a start?
Well, Pavard, I'm going to be honest. The game before he versus Milan, he did not have a good game. That game, they looked very, very tired. I think 9th, 8th, whatever is very respectable. I do think they need to be better.
To me, that's we're gonna move on from Inter soon.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
to me, this is a little bit too reactionary because do you guys still have them as Scudetto winners?
I think
Well,
they're
right now
still-
I have them as the highest rated Serie A team.
Okay, so
right
then
now
that
I
makes
do.
sense.
But like I said when we posted this in our top 5 league predictions, I have Napoli 10th because I came into the season with high hopes for Napoli, and I had them second in the predictions. So
Makes sense.
For me, I have Napoli as my second best Serie A team in my power rankings, and I have Inter as my top. But now, if I go into my eighth place, I have Leverkusen.
Listen,
they're not even in my top 10.
Not in my top 10.
Bro, a draw versus Bayern,
After getting creamed, that brother, they got dominated.
Yes, but
they
once
got
again,
dominated.
But once again, it's the only game of the season for me where Leverkusen, you can argue a domination is fine.
I don't agree, brother. They're Bundesliga title holders. They should not.
They drew Bayern Munich. It's not that bad of a
yeah,
result.
but Millie's right. When Bayern changes coach, changes a lot of players, and goes against the favorites to win again, Bayer Leverkusen, who went undefeated
They
the year
weren't
before.
favorites.
They are kind
Betting
of
odd favorites, they weren't the favorites.
When Bayern has so many changes, especially like a manager change,
Yeah.
they are favorites. They retain Xabi Alonso. They have Wirtz still.
Look, I thought going into the season it was 50-50. But betting websites say Bayern Munich was the
I'm
favorite.
not sure about that.
It was. I'm telling you.
But Bayern,
Those are
that's
good
probably
odds,
just name recognition,
recognition.
whatever, like tradition.
I think
whatnot.
Leipzig right now is a stronger team than Bayer Leverkusen.
No, you can't say
I
that.
think that's a little harsh. on
Leverkusen lose one game in 60 games, and now
No.
and now Leipzig's better than them.
Leverkusen, the thing about them is that
Leipzig beat Leverkusen earlier this season.
Leipzig scored twice in extra time.
But Leipzig,
How many
Leverkusen,
times did Bayer Leverkusen score in extra time last season?
almost every game,
But
this
not
season
twice.
too.
But that's inevitable.
Yes, versus Roma twice.
Okay, yeah, but that's once.
Well, this may be
Yeah,
once.
but even this season too, Leverkusen have left it late, very late
versus
for a lot of
Wolfsburg,
teams.
Am I mistaken? Versus Wolfsburg, it was.
I
was
think
not
it might
late?
have been. I'm not exactly sure, but they've left it
Well,
late.
Leipzig didn't score twice in extra time. Sorry, that was misinformation. I just looked at the results.
Box-
Yeah,
box moment
versus
But they-
Wolfsburg.
Leverkusen were up 2-0 at one point, and then
Yes,
second
I
half
remember
they
that game,
crumbled.
They crashed. Yeah.
But I think and once again the Leverkusen leave it very late. Yes, it is an arguable thing to say, but when it happens so many times,
It's a resiliency thing. I agree.
It's just that's a normal thing. It was like Fergie time for Manchester United.
It's like Real Madrid.
It happens so many
Always winning
times
it
that
late.
it's not random anymore.
I think I saw a video. It was sidetracked, but I think I saw a video on like that debunking Fergie time, and they said most goals in the Premier League era past the 90th minute mark or whatever. And I think Arsenal's first.
It's possible.
I think I saw
I don't
something
know,
like that.
but
It's Wenger time, baby.
One good time. But Leverkusen, they're probably in my 11 to 15.
They're in my
around
they're
there.
in my
Yes.
11th spot. They're my 11th spot.
Yeah.
I'd say.
This was a team that I wish I could put in top 10, but I can't because there's better
There's only
teams.
10 teams in the
Yeah.
top 10.
I know.
unfortunately.
There's better teams. There's better
unfortunately.
teams.
But it's a scary side. Like
But
when you're facing
We
them.
could be wrong.
yeah.
Oh, I think come next power ranking and the one after that, you guys are definitely gonna have
Oh, it's very
Leverkusen in there
possible.
because they don't play Bayern Munich for the next couple of months. So and they play Milan, let's say. And,
Like I'm scared of playing them. You know?
Yes.
Like I'm expecting
oh,
goals.
I think a good result for Milan against
A tie.
Leverkusen is a tie.
Yes, I agree.
What are their matchups in the Champions League?
They did not get blessed.
They're playing Milan. Then
Milan,
they're playing Brest.
Elven,
Liverpool.
the DFB Pokal. Liverpool, like they could
Okay,
lose and it
Inter.
won't change.
Then
Inter's
Salzburg.
playing
then
Inter,
okay,
Inter's
that's
going to
tough.
be a good barometer. Atletico Madrid,
I'm not ready for that.
That's tough.
look,
I'm curious to see how they contend with these teams.
I think they could. It would not surprise me if, let's say, they beat Milan, they win a couple more games, and then play Inter, smoke them. Let's just say,
Let's just say smoke them.
they could go up to your 4-3
Inter doesn't get
at
smoked.
one point.
Yeah, we do nuggets.
Yeah,
possibly.
that's one thing Inter doesn't get smoked.
But whatever. My next team, 7th place, and you guys are gonna be shocked. I have Barcelona.
Me too.
I had them.
That's-
No,
Ay,
I got
ay,
Barcelona
ay,
as
listen,
well,
ay,
listen.
brother.
I
Here
could
we
have
go.
been.
Here we go.
I could have been couleurs. I could have been a lot meaner towards you guys. I had them 7th last power rankings, and I think now you could say they deserve to drop. I'm giving you guys the benefit of the doubt.
That's benefit of the doubt.
That I didn't drop them. After
That's
results
crazy.
against Monaco, where I could have walked in here with a cigar in my mouth, with my Ray-Bans on, I could have walked in here celebrating like that Shannon Sharp meme, bust out the bottle of
the
Hennessy. But
Come on, Skip.
I will give you guys the benefit of the doubt. I think, look, Osasuna result. I was celebrating that shit. I ain't gonna lie to you guys.
I was celebrating that
Pop
shit.
the
too.
champagne.
Celebrating that shit didn't last long because Man United played a
You
couple
had them
hours
7
later.
last week. I had them 7 too.
Yeah,
last week.
exactly.
And they dropped
So-
my 8 as well.
That Monaco performance, I once again,
We're-
like we told you guys a
We're
month
beating
ago.
the dead horse on the Monaco performance.
Like we said a month
2
ago,
weeks ago.
once that depth starts
What about-
crawling
what
out
about
of the
the-
shadows of Barcelona, you guys will see. You guys ain't that good.
But if you're
about the-
talking about the Monaco result,
Yeah,
we
what
also
about
had
the
a red
5-1?
card.
No, the
Also,
game
Man
after.
United had a red card, but
So Arsenal had a red card.
So?
but
Oh,
a
but now
red
it's-
card's part of the game of football.
Firms doesn't
You can't
think
just go start saying Barcelona had a red card, but then Arsenal.
No, but
you
you gotta
guys
take-
should be playing liquid football around Man City because you had a red card.
Barcelona didn't play well against Monaco. Obviously, that gives me the reason to put them a little bit lower because in Champions League they didn't perform as I thought they would. But
As we
we've said
told you.
this. No, I said it myself.
No,
the
no,
depth
no,
is
as
an
we
issue.
told you.
No, you didn't tell
That
me anything.
When the Champions,
didn't tell me anything
when the
because-
Champions
Brother, watch
League,
our
when the
TikToks.
Champions
Watch
League
our
anthem
TikTok.
starts showing up, Barcelona crumble.
It's not about Champions League anthems. It's about depth. The brothers pulled up with Eric Garcia DM.
But whose fault is that?
It's obviously the depth's fault. There's no subs.
But who's the overarching
The
leader?
fact that Barcelona needs to
Okay,
buy
it's
players.
Barcelona the problem.
Are they?
So unfortunately, that's
So-
a notch down
so
on
wait, wait,
Barcelona's
who's-
ranking.
so when they won 5-0 against Villarreal,
The week following?
whose fault is that?
Barcelona.
So when you had Barcelona at 3, it wasn't including the Barcelona.
I didn't have them at 3.
Oh, what, 4?
I had them
last week?
6th.
Last time you had them 6th.
Yeah,
I
I
have
had
a
them
hard
6th
time
as well.
Firms had
believing
them
that.
6
I had them
last
6th
time.
as
Brother,
well.
I'm a realist over here.
Yeah,
You,
come on,
you don't
man.
understand. I actually watch with my goggles on.
Are you guys on 7? It's 7 right now.
Yeah, I said
all over the place.
Barcelona 7.
Yeah, 7th.
Yeah, let's just for the viewers. It's
Okay,
we're
so
on a
my
7.
8 was Barca. Your 8 was Barca. Your 8
No.
was or no,
My
7,
8
7,
was
7.
my 7th was
My
Barcelona.
7 was Barca. Your 7 was Barca.
My 7 is Inter.
Okay, we
I put them that low.
Oh my God.
Brother, I'm watching these games week in, week out. We have not been like in the draws. We have not been.
Where did you have Inter at the beginning of the season?
Versus Milan, we were
I don't
not
remember
good.
the beginning of the
At the
season.
beginning of the season, you probably had them 4. Let's just say you had them 4, maybe 3, maybe 5.
Last power ranking, I had them 4th.
Last power rank I had them
That's
fourth as
fair.
well.
You're giving them the benefit of the doubt of last season. If last season's
They
Inter,
didn't change the team.
Last season's Inter would be 3 or 4. They are obviously not at that level this year.
Not
already.
right now. Not
Yeah,
right now.
Okay,
I think
exactly.
this year we could be, but right now it's a little. Inzaghi needs to tweak a couple things because it's just not clicking like.
But
it
they're a
used to.
notch below last year, you could
Okay,
say
well-
right now. So they deserve to be in 7th or 8th.
Yeah.
He's probably going to still have them around Arsenal, which I think is completely undeserved.
I'll tell you right now. 6th, I have Inter. That's fair to
fine.
say because you guys did not get worse.
But who'd you put at 7?
7th, Barca.
You see, for me, putting Inter above Barca is crazy.
I mean,
Personally-
they're very interchangeable
I
in
think
my
they're
opinion. I think they're. The thing is that Barcelona, you have to kind of work with what you have. Inter, you know what
Yeah,
what
but
you
Barcelona in the games they have won have looked dominant.
have. Dominant, but Inter as well.
Inter
Bro,
in the games
Atalanta
they have
4-0?
won.
That's the
Okay,
only
that's
one.
one result.
That's the only one. I'm gonna
They
be
have not
honest.
looked dominant in other games.
Man City, they look dominant.
they don't
They
get to
did
play.
not look dominant. What's dominant? They kept
Brother.
up with Man City. That's dominant.
Well, brother, best team in the world. You guys had them
Yeah.
either one
But
or
you-
two. Like,
brother,
it's a bit of an achievement for us. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, but once again,
That is
you
a great
just you
achievement.
just kept in the game with
Brother,
them. You
kept
stayed in the game. You
Brother,
stayed
we
in the
had
game.
just as many chances.
No,
as
you
them.
didn't.
brother.
You didn't. You didn't.
Yes, they
Like,
did.
I
did.
Inter played well, but once again, it was like a heavyweight fight against Mike Tyson, where the guy made it to the 12th round.
and you
I
didn't
don't-
lose.
No, they lost. They
No,
deserve.
a tie
if
against
it
Man
went
City is
to-
a good
Let's say it was
result.
boxing and it went to decision, Man City win that game.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe later on in the game, I agree with you. It kind of just
Well,
we
the
lost
game's
a bit of
90
gas.
minutes.
that
You're
matters.
bringing up
Okay.
like you're bringing up like the red card for Barcelona. It's the game's 90 minutes.
But
Whatever
I'm
happens
telling
in that 90 minutes
Bro,
takes into account.
Inter lost control towards the end.
Near
I
the end, yeah, I
could
agree.
have came in here and said, "Oh, Bruno Fernandes is not a red card." We were still in that game at halftime. No, we weren't. We got dominated before that.
Yeah,
Bruno
but there's
Fernandes
love
We
red
didn't get
card.
dominated beforehand.
Yeah.
It
The
was
first
50-50
half was
beforehand.
50-50, I agree.
Yes, even
But
the
then
first 20
if there
minutes
was
or
10
so
more
that
minutes,
second half.
if there was 10 more
Yes,
minutes in that match,
I agree,
I
it
would
could've
flip a
went
coin
back.
to see if you guys would have lost or not.
No,
'cause
it would
was
have
there.
been. It would have been. Writing was on the wall by the 89th, 90th.
I
minute.
agree.
Like, another
I
10
agree.
minutes, City would have won.
100%.
But I didn't go into that game thinking we would win.
Whereas,
Brother,
yeah.
you guys.
Yes,
you guys
but once
came in-
again, there's a hierarchy thing of you go into games against Man City that a draw is a good result. For Man City going into a game against Inter, a draw is
I
terrible.
think
but
I
we-
think
but
Man
we-
City smoked Barca.
Oh,
Smoked.
yes,
agree.
Yes, but
But if we're using that as the,
But I
if we're
think
using that as the
Barcelona
wall,
have a. This is gonna sound stupid, but Inter have a better chance against Man City of drawing. Barcelona have a better chance against Man City of winning.
That's just
but
hypothetical.
over a sample of 10 matches, I think Inter come out with much more
Inter
points.
get a result in let's say 3 games. Barcelona get a result in 2 games.
Brother,
but they
Inter
have
get a
better-
result in 8 games of 10 versus City.
No, maybe not 8. Like I would say 5.
Bro, they tie maybe
So
4.
then, in
Yeah.
what results? You
Maybe
think
maybe 6
Inter
or
win
7,
4
sorry.
games out of 10?
No. Tie. At least 4 of those are ties. I think Inzaghi matches up Pep with ties very, very
Yes,
like.
but
it's
they
common
never
out.
win the game.
But
in my
Pep has
personal-
said
Maybe
it
1 or
many
2?
times. Pep has said it many times
Yeah,
that
it's his kryptonite.
Inzaghi is a difficult manager to play against. I don't think it's crazy to have them 6th.
No, I don't think
It's
so.
very reactionary what you guys are doing right now.
No, it's just
It
him.
is.
It's just him. I would
What do
put
you
them
think-
6 or 9. Like it's.
I can't justify. Unfortunately, there's teams above. I can't justify putting Inter higher because of the results. I would like
Bro,
to
you
put them higher.
you are favorites for the Scudetto.
Yes, I agree. But right now we're not
Did
playing
everyone
like
say?
favorites.
Did everyone say our 7?
Yeah.
Okay, I have PSG 6th, and the fact that I think you guys have PSG lower than Inter is blasphemy.
It-
we're
it's just
playing
a
a couple-
casualty.
Liga.
And I think dropping.
Undefeated.
It's very
Liga.
interchangeable. It's interchangeable, but
but I think these are
Empoli's
very
undefeated.
close, Varvar. These are honestly,
one
it's
team
very
had to be
tough.
dropped lower.
It's very
That's
tough
what it was.
to rank.
And Inter
defensive-
has not given you the benefit of the doubt this season to say they deserve to be higher than PSG, who have looked dominant in most of their fixtures.
Well,
Okay, well,
more
we had a
benefit of
dominant
the-
fixture as well. Like, listen, I'll bring up Atalanta, whatever. But listen, Lautaro's back on form right now. Assist the last game and then 2 goals this game. I see the tides turning a little bit.
PSG have controlled games from start to finish, week in, week out.
But unfortunately, as
Inter
I've
have
said
not
it-
done that.
As I've said it before, the level of competition, unfortunately, is just not there.
But what's a result this season that you guys won that you guys played a lower mid-table club?
well, let's say first game of the season, Genoa 2-2, and we were up
Okay, Genoa. If you go into PSG's fixtures, you're telling me they haven't played a team of Genoa's
course, but
stature in the game.
Genoa's-
They beat Rennes 3-1. Brest are in Champions League. They beat 3-1. They beat Montpellier 6-0. They beat Lille 3-1.
listen,
Whoa, whoa, don't skip over that.
They beat Girona 1-0.
1-0, but Girona unfortunately lost about what, five starting players.
Okay, but-
Girona are losing games in La Liga.
Girona are 12th. They're like 2 and 3. They
That's
2
what I'm
draws, 3
saying.
losses.
I'm sorry, you could bring up those results, but brother, 1-0 versus Girona is all fine and dandy. But compared to a 0-0 versus Man City, we're in a different ball game there, boss.
Listen, I'm curious to see how PSG does against Arsenal because that's
Yes.
going to move
I
a
think that's
lot
the
of our
barometer.
rankings.
There's a lot of rankings. Listen,
PSG
very
win against
interchangeable.
Arsenal, they can move up to 3 or 4.
Sure.
There's an
Well,
argument.
depends on
argument.
fashion. Depends on
Yeah,
fashion.
depends the fashion.
But what I have PSG.
Number 6, it was really contentious for me, but I put Arsenal. There's an argument to put them higher,
No
but
reaction this week.
I think 6 is a soft spot. I had them 5th
I don't
last
think
time.
that's crazy.
I don't think that's crazy at all.
If you had them
Stupid,
fifth
idiotic.
last time, it makes sense. A little bit of a drop off, but
Because,
For what? What did we do to drop off? I don't understand. Where's the drop off?
Listen,
Who dropped off? In which match? I don't
Listen,
understand.
I'm not
Well,
gonna bring up that City
You're just
result.
moving teams just to what? To
listen,
move?
no,
it's-
listen. If we're bringing up injuries for Barcelona and they're getting a drop off
Gives a
because of
shit,
that,
bro. Trossard's been just as good, bro. There's no
so
drop off.
Trossard is better than Odegaard. Okay.
Who gives a? Don't isolate that event, bro. We've looked just as good as we have the entire season.
Missing Odegaard is a big piece of Arsenal, and without him, you don't play the same. It's just
Listen,
simple.
I think you guys had a decent result against Manchester City, regardless of the last final whistle goal. But I do think there's teams above that have shown a lot more form.
Who do you have at 5?
Did you guys say you're 6?
No, but who do you have above Arsenal is what I'm curious.
I have some decent teams,
We'll get to that.
some very tough top teams. Don't worry.
We'll get to that.
I don't think my list is that far off.
What
Boys.
did Liverpool do to convince you that
Okay,
they're above
Liverpool,
Arsenal?
no,
Liverpool, in my
I'm
personal
sorry.
opinion, are
They're first.
clear.
They're first in the Prem.
And when?
They're
What,
first in the Prem, and
what did they do to convince
And
you?
they
of that?
dominated Milan in
Yeah,
the
they
Champions
don't-
League.
like,
Difference and
dominant.
dominated
That
me.
was Milan at Milan's lowest possible point.
And we're
this
first
The
in
season.
Serie
next
A,
game
but
they beat
okay.
Inter.
You're first in Serie A?
No, they're
We're
second.
tied with second,
Second
actually.
or
You're not
third.
second.
Third.
You're not. I
Check
don't know if
the
you're
stats.
third either.
Check everything.
No, they're
check
third.
everything.
Check everything. Juve are
everything.
second. Napoli is first, and Milan is
Milan is
somewhere
third.
behind.
Milan
But
is
do you
third, Inter's
count
fourth.
points that are tied? Do you count that
Okay,
as
bro.
third, second, or what? How does that
Anyways.
work?
Yeah.
Anyways,
If it's 11th and you're
We
tied
can
with
talk-
a
we can
second
talk
place
about-
team,
I
I
that's
can't believe
11th.
you just tried to claim that Milan were
Milan are
Milan
third.
Yeah, I told you, Milan are third.
on less points, no ties, on less points.
Okay, 11th.
Yeah. Congratulations.
11 points.
And you're a three-way tie for third, by the way. So on your logic, Torino is the same place as Milan.
Torino's been excellent.
Anyway, continue the conversation.
They lost today, but I forgot 3-2, but I forget who they played. But
Hellas
let's
Verona.
Hellas Como beat Hellas Verona.
Como. Yeah.
That was
I don't
that
know.
was
Whatever. Who
actually
gives a
that was
shit
actually
about
a-
Torino?
Was it Lazio?
Yeah,
So yes,
Lazio.
last minute goal.
The
Yes.
Como match was a rager.
Yeah, that was nuts. But listen, we can talk about Arsenal when you guys speak about them, but I do think that there are 5 teams that have been on better form or better excitement, in my opinion.
My 6.
Who do you have at 6?
I'm about to do some crazy.
Oh boy.
Okay.
I have Juve at 6.
No, that's.
I have
fucking
Juve at
crazy.
6.
Brother, the way that you reacted to me putting Arsenal 6 and then putting Juve 6,
Oh,
But I don't
my
have
God.
Arsenal 6.
wild. Yeah,
That's
because you have them
crazy.
like 3 or something crazy like
So,
that.
so you had to Inter where?
9, 8, 8.
So you have Juve as the front runner for Serie A right now.
Yeah, he
Yep.
does.
Okay. And you think Juve playing Barcelona right now Juve would beat them?
This is not a head-to-head thing, by the way. I've never mentioned in this power ranking system, I've never used head-to-head as the barometer for which team should be higher than others. Because I think Arsenal is a more powerful team than certain guys below them. But I think if Arsenal play Bayern, I don't think it's like I wouldn't put Bayern below
Well, we had
Arsenal.
that last season when
necessarily.
Bayern were shit
Exactly.
and they still lost.
So that's what I'm saying. Like I'm not using a head-to-head. I'm not even gonna feed into that
Okay.
argument.
Juve at 6 is just absolute insanity. Let's just keep it for real.
He's buying the hype. He's buying into the hype. I'm not really going to react because it's still a little early in the season, but I don't think I'll have Juve ever that high
I agree.
unless they run away with the Scudetto. I'm going to keep it a buck.
Well, if they're running away with the Scudetto, that means Inter just falls off,
I mean,
which is
Milan
not going to
falls off,
happen.
Milan's Napoli falls
Milan,
off.
who's Milan in this game?
1 point behind you, but
Bro,
okay.
one derby win and all.
No,
of a
but
sudden
right
they
now,
think
if
they're
we have to
special?
make
I mean-
projected Serie A table, you're probably 4th.
Third, maybe.
I mean, we're tied in points.
Yeah,
You're
but
talking
okay.
about Milan, you're talking about Juve.
Milan.
Torino's
Milan is
Torino
probably
should
third.
be up
Listen,
there
there's a
as
reason
well.
why Milan is not in top 10. I put Juventus and Inter, though.
Yeah.
They're above us.
Listen,
It's not crazy.
Juve 6 is...
Juve 6 is ridiculous when you're looking at PSG. There's another team also in Germany that's been smoking and it better be in your top 4.
Yeah, I
but
agree.
PSG has been better.
Oh,
Barcelona's been better.
they
Who do you have at
Inter's
six?
been better. 6, I said it. Inter's been better.
Inter, I feel like has been playing better.
lost the derby.
Yeah,
And
that's a big
Tied
loss.
to Genoa.
That's a big loss. But
You've been playing better than Juve.
not defensively, but I do think
No,
we have
you
a better
haven't been.
squad.
I don't see that.
Once
We have a better
again,
squad. We
the
have a better
only
squad.
Name on
team,
name.
the only team in Serie A that's been playing better than Juve, in my personal opinion, is Napoli.
Yeah, in your opinion.
But yeah, it's a 50.
Arguably, in
You
your
can
opinion,
argue
to
Juve
debate-
or Napoli.
debatably-
Milan or Inter is absolute idiocy.
Yes, I agree.
Whatever.
You can say come the end of the season, Inter might be better than Juve in the
Bro,
table, sure.
the reality-
but right now, Juve have been clearly better than Inter.
Whatever floats your boat, bro.
But bro, you lost the derby to a shit AC Milan.
They actually played really well. I'm not gonna lie, they played very, very well. Inter
So
were
1 week
exhausted.
changes everything. 2 weeks ago, you were ready to call
That's what
the
I'm saying.
season on Milan. Oh my
That's what I'm
God, they're
saying.
gonna
That's
be so
reactionary.
shit.
That's,
Yes,
that's
but
what
once
happens
again-
when
No,
you
but they
react.
said a
And I was
trend.
banking before the derby because obviously I want Inter to win the derby for the 8th time in a row. But listen, Milan, I gave my props to. I didn't argue about that game. Inter were
I
not
know,
good.
but that unfortunately,
Yeah.
that's what we're saying affects your season is because that game happened.
I
Bro,
understand.
you
but
were one
the Genoa game
Udinese,
overall.
one more
Hence they got
Udinese
dropped.
goal away.
Okay, you need to understand. I knew he was going to bring this up. I knew he was going to bring this up.
One more Udinese goal away from being in 10.
I told Ferns.
From
Ferns,
10.
Brother, you did not watch the game. I told Ferns. I said it was 3-1. Udinese scored in the 85th, 86th minute.
Udinese.
I said Udinese. Sorry, Udinese scored 86th minute. I told Ferns. I said.
Bro, I was
I
gonna bring it
cannot wait to defend Inter winning 3-2 with the. I swear, if I picked up my phone and showed you the text,
He did text
I
me that.
swear to God, I told him. I said I can't wait to defend a 3-2 dominant win versus Udinese on the pod because they're gonna look at the score and say, "Oh, it was closer than it was." Brother, we dominated Udinese. I do not want to hear it. We're not talking about that game.
That's the thing. Inter has been dominating games, but defensively they've been worse. So,
So
automatically
Arsenal against
looks.
Leicester Riz versus
Who?
Arsenal against Leicester
Bro,
is
I have-
harassment, but
Brother,
Inter
I have
versus-
Arsenal over
Bro,
Inter. Do you understand?
Please, I need you to understand. We were 2 minutes away from that game ending 3-1, and there would have been no argument. There would have been no argument.
Skim me your teeth, bro. You got away from that game.
Whatever floats your boat. Okay, who do you guys have at 5?
I have Arsenal.
Arsenal. Better than Inter?
Yes, I agree. That's fine. I'm not. That's not a debate.
No, I know.
I think
I'm
from
not. I can't even react to the stupidity about Arsenal because we do nothing but excel, and then we get dropped places in the
I
power
mean,
rankings.
Excel, you guys, brother, you tied two.
yeah,
You
okay,
tied,
okay,
tied two
yeah.
Premier League games in a row.
Versus who?
Manchester City.
NCL was not a good performance.
And CL was not that great because Atalanta somehow was a draw, and then you tied tied Leicester.
You tied Brighton also.
We tied.
no, not Leicester. They
Oh,
won
sorry.
4-2.
Sorry.
They tied Man City.
Man
Big
City.
tie.
Tied Brighton.
Apologies.
So you just said we
Tied
tied
Brighton.
2 games in a row, and they were both to Man City. That's crazy. Bro, a red card, and we still came out with a draw versus Man City. That's a win in my books, which should have been a win. One
You
more
were
minute away from a
also-
win.
You were also 5 minutes away from tying Leicester also.
We dominated that game. We created
Okay,
5
sure, you dominated, sure, but you were.
love to talk
it's-
about
I
XG.
just
Right,
said,
now
I
you
just
see-
said
but
this.
now you see-
I
now
said
you
it about
thought it was
Inter.
close.
I
You
said
thought
it
about
about
XG.
Inter that they were 1 goal away from tying.
We won
you
4-2.
You were closer to a tie than Inter.
We won 4-2.
Brother.
4-2 is not 2-1. It's
You
not
were
3-2.
5 minutes away from tying Leicester City.
Bro, we won 4-2.
But for number 5, I have Barcelona there
Barcelona?
because listen, I know that they've dropped points versus Osasuna, which
Saying Barcelona is better than Arsenal is crazy.
I'm not saying that they're better. I'm just saying right now I feel that Barcelona are on a right trajectory. Hansi Flick has squashed any doubt in my mind that he's the right manager for Barcelona. Lamine Yamal is quickly becoming the best right wing in the world. Lewandowski is on form as well. One Osasuna performance, I understand. Monaco, I also understand with the red cards part of the game, whatever. But in between that point, they rebounded very, very well. And they were very good. I don't think I could justify putting Barcelona in that 6th or 7th
Who
position.
started at center back for Barcelona this week?
Kubarsi and
Martinez.
No.
This
Next
week?
try.
Osasuna?
Yeah.
brother. It
no,
doesn't
the
matter.
young guy, Dominguez.
Okay.
Yeah.
Left back.
Left back, Fort.
No.
Listen,
The other youngster. I don't know his name.
Gerard Martin.
Okay.
Okay, so this depth is not depth that you can rely on.
But that's what I said.
Arsenal have 4 left backs that they can pull out and play you against.
perfectly
Arsenal
fine.
have center back after center. They have Calafiori on the bench, Ben White on the bench. Center backs, not an issue. The depth that Barcelona have, you cannot even the starting 11s. To be honest, you could argue Arsenal's is better. I would personally would pick
No.
Arsenal starting 11 over Barca's.
It's a good debate.
But the depth. Once you bring depth into account, you cannot argue at all Barcelona better than
Who do they
Arsenal.
sub on? Who does Barcelona sub on if they like in an average week where they do have injuries, because that's the reality of Barca at the moment? Who are they subbing on? Like, who do they sub on?
Hector Fort, Casado, Astralaga at keeper. Now is their backup keeper,
Why, he got
Astralaga.
injured?
But brother,
Oh, no, because Ter Stegen got.
I'm sorry. Like,
Jakobashvili.
Him is the only
Varvar,
guy I don't
You're
know.
bringing up these guys.
I
Varvar.
don't like. We
You're
don't really
cherry-picking
care.
players. It's
If
not
the results
point.
are
But that
there, we
matters.
don't really
But the
care.
results aren't there anymore for Barcelona. You could argue
Why?
that
Because of one
game.
Osasuna loss.
Two loss.
Two loss against Monaco and Osasuna.
Of their last four
Osasuna was an anomaly.
Of their last 4 games, they lost 2 games.
But they were.
That's Man United have the same record. In the
Osas-
last 4 games, they
Man
lost 2
United,
games.
we know they didn't play good.
But Barcelona didn't play good against Monaco or Osasuna.
A loss is not playing good. Osasuna had an anomaly. Brian Zaragoza became the
Osasuna
best player.
dominated them.
It just happened. It's an anomaly.
It
Osasuna.
just happened.
Bro, I think
Bro, Brian
Barcelona
Zaragoza had
Arsenal's
the
much
game of
better.
his life.
Osasuna dominated Barcelona. Arsenal, you would never see that against an Osasuna. You would never, ever.
Those slip-ups don't happen.
Arsenal's bad performances are games that are 50-50 against a team like Osasuna
A tie
or
versus
whatever.
Brighton is a bad performance for Arsenal.
Yes, that the game was 50-50.
I mean,
Barcelona got
You wanna be top
dominated
4,
by
you wanna be top
Osasuna.
5, Brighton shouldn't be.
Wait, a red card.
If I just showed you the game, you would probably say Barcelona were Osasuna after that game.
I don't get it. Like, what do you want me to answer?
Barcelona, if they weren't called Barcelona, they were called Arsenal, would be way lower down your ranking.
But are you not
Bro,
saying
you're acting like I put them third.
No, but this brother put them what?
Fifth.
Yeah, and you put
What's the
Barcelona and you put
Barcelona last week for me were 6th. I
So
just
he
switched
upped them.
Arsenal and Barcelona because I
And-
think Barcelona had a better track record for a certain amount of time.
I'm
Did you
still
say
at
you're number 5?
Liverpool.
See, like that's
That's
crazy.
crazy to me.
Why? We're gonna put them
Liverpool
one?
is better than Arsenal right now.
Get ready for my list, bro.
Yeah. Do nothing, get pushed up.
Do nothing.
Liverpool's literally first in the Prem.
First in the Prem.
Do nothing, get pushed up.
First in the Prem. Man City were first in the Prem. I had them in the top 2.
And who are Liverpool been playing recently?
The same teams that
Man
Arsenal
City's
have been
able
playing.
And Arsenal. I really like when they get the phones and they get to look it up.
Bournemouth.
Because I really like
It
that.
doesn't-
Bournemouth,
doesn't
Nottingham
matter.
Forest, Manchester
Ridiculous.
United, Brentford, Ipswich, shitters. Let's see them play versus some real teams.
Okay.
They've been
Okay.
playing
Man
exceptional.
City versus Ipswich 2. I put them in the second spot.
Okay, Man
they're
City's an
first in
exception.
the Premier League.
Who?
Liverpool.
I know. But they've been playing versus shitters.
No, they haven't.
Bro, they played. I just told you who they played.
Literally
get
last podcast, you were saying you only play what's in front of you.
And they've been playing exceptionally. That's why I put them 5th.
So you got to put them higher, in my opinion. If they're first in the
So
Prem.
Juve haven't played shitters, but Liverpool played shitters.
Bro, Juve played Roma and Napoli.
Roma,
So Roma
who
and
just
Napoli
fired
are
De Rossi.
better than Milan, Man United.
Yes?
Yeah, Roma's better than Man United.
Bro, where's
Roma's better than
Roma's,
Milan.
Roma's better than Man United right now.
Roma's better
No,
than
they're
Milan.
not.
Roma's not better than Milan.
They just sacked.
They just sacked their manager. They're 9th in Serie A.
better than Manchester United.
Okay.
But regardless, you rated Napoli. Napoli's on your list. The other teams you mentioned aren't on your list. Why isn't Milan on your list?
Because
They're not a
Napoli
top
have
team.
played better than Milan.
They had too bad of a start.
Manchester United and Milan aren't on your list, but yet you rip me for saying Napoli is a harder match than these two teams. But go on. Anyway, it's off topic. Go on.
Well, who's 4th for you guys?
So, wait, did we do 5 all of us?
Yeah, 5's done.
Yeah.
Okay, so
My fourth is Bayern Munich.
I have Bayern Munich as well.
Bayern Munich.
See, in my opinion, Bayern has been better than Arsenal. They are attacking, they're scoring goals. Arsenal doesn't give me that certainty of scoring goals every game.
I personally think the question that needs to be asked here is, are Bayern Munich in the Man City and Real Madrid tier after these performances?
I would say it's a little bit reactionary, but going up tomorrow, if it's Manchester City versus Bayern or Real versus Bayern, I think Bayern have a chance in those games. A serious chance in those games.
When you have players like Kane, Musiala, and Olise balling out and linking together, I think they have to be in that
Well,
conversation.
their front line is just as good as the teams we're speaking about. Real
No,
and
not
City.
Real Madrid.
Well, they're in that.
Name-wise,
three.
no.
Goals.
Name-wise, no.
Yes.
But listen, the cohesion that I don't know how company has put that together so quickly. But I mean, you even have guys like Pavlovic balling out. Like he's getting the most out of the team.
There's a bit of Barcelona effect here. Let me see in Champions League because domestically we know.
They just won
Dinamo
9-2.
Zagreb.
Oh my God. Brother,
It's 9 goals they
Dinamo
scored.
Zagreb, bro. I argue
Okay.
that's probably worse than a
Okay.
Bundesliga
The
game.
last time
No.
the last time I've seen a team score 9 goals in the Champions League, I don't even remember.
Dinamo Zagreb sacked their manager.
I
after
don't
that
care.
game.
It's a Champions League game, and they were
They
scoring
sacked the
9.
manager after that game.
Varvar,
That's how bad it was.
The only time I'll believe you is if another team of, let's say, Bayern stature or even lower win by 9 goals or 7 goals versus Dinamo Zagreb.
You're acting like I have Bayern Munich 4. I'm saying what they've shown so far is good, but let me see when they play those serious teams. Against Leverkusen, they weren't able to break through. They scored
They
once by a
dominated that
long
game.
shot.
True.
I
They
think
They
that's a- I
scored
think it's a
once
fair
by a
point.
long shot. They were very close to dropping points in that game.
They
They dropped
dominated,
points,
though.
but sure, they dominated. But once again, they almost lost.
They
It's
tied.
just like how I said for Arsenal against Leicester, they almost dropped points there too. My logic is being applied to every situation. Yes, it is.
Because if I go check XG, which is your favorite logic to use, they probably dominated on XG.
Yeah, but Arsenal dominated on XG also.
But why do you use counter? Listen,
I'm not using counter.
Don't say you have consistent logic because
It
it's
is
really
consistent
not.
logic. Arsenal almost dropped against Leicester.
Enough with Arsenal. Bayern, you value XG so much. This is aside from the point. Bayern probably dominated versus Leverkusen on XG.
They did.
But you don't care about that.
But Leverkusen scored early. They sat back, defended, and Bayern Munich only broke through Leverkusen with a long shot. It took a Pavlovic wonder goal to get a singular point against Bayern Leverkusen.
Listen, I think they're still on that tier. Bayern is top 4 team in the world right now.
I agree.
Bayer Leverkusen generated 0.06 XG that game versus
Bayer
Bayern.
Leverkusen are an 8th on my list, and Bayern Munich are 4 on my list. So that's
just-
taken
just
into
to-
account. But that's the only game that they played a decently large team this season. And guess what?
Bro, I hate momentum charts, bro, but I've never seen this shit.
Sure.
I have never seen this in my life. There's not even a second team here. 0.06 XG, and Bayern had 69% possession. And if you watch that,
They're dominant. They're
Bayern
dominant.
have not
You're
looked that
acting
dominant.
like I said. Bayern Munich played like shit that game.
But I think
but you
the
use
reason,
that as a negative.
It is a negative. They almost lost points to Bayer Leverkusen.
But I
Well, they
think
did
that-
drop points.
But I think that's why. Let's say if they win versus Leverkusen, low key they could be in that top 3. There's an argument.
What, you
a
saying if
top
they
3.
lose?
No, if they won versus Leverkusen.
Oh, if they won, yeah.
There's an argument for top 3 because they would have passed the test versus a bigger team. Then you go into Champions League this week. I'm not sure exactly who they're playing, but brother, you're coming into this game with the amount of confidence as, let's say, a Real Madrid going into a Champions League game. Bayern Munich, you do not want to be the team that faces Bayern Munich after beating Dinamo Zagreb 9-2, and then let's say they would have beat.
Bro,
won
they're
versus
Champions League
Let's
giants.
say
Okay, but even after a 0-0 win, you look at those stats and you say,
0. It's not his win.
okay.
Okay, let's get back to
oh my
the question. The question at hand was, are they on the same
No.
level as City and Real? You say no. For what reason? I think 100% they are on the same tier as them. And I think if it happened tomorrow, they'd win versus one of the two, or tie at least versus one of the two.
I agree. I honestly think Bayern Munich, they're finally getting into that form. Vincent Kompany has that team rolling. Listen, do they have the star power, let's say, of a Real Madrid or even Manchester City? I don't know. There's a question there, but they're putting everything together. They're getting those results.
And they have a track record in Europe. Regardless of the Bundesliga, Bayern Munich, you can't name bigger teams in the Champions League.
9-2 versus Zagreb, regardless of who you play, is still an eye-opener. And that should scare every big team saying, okay, Bayern Munich are back.
It's crazy because this is actually the craziest part because I'm about to self-hurt myself. But if I'm facing a team tomorrow, let's say I'm Juventus and I'm facing a team tomorrow in the Champions League, Bayern or Arsenal, I'm more scared of Bayern than I am of Arsenal, and that's coming from myself. Like I don't know. They're a scary team in Europe and they're a scary team in Bundesliga. So, but for now I'm putting them 4, and my Arsenal clearly are at 3. So
So we have them all 4.
yeah,
I have them all 4.
You have them 4th as well.
4th as well.
Number 3. What do you guys have?
that's where I said my Arsenal is at.
Liverpool.
I have Liverpool.
I have Manchester City.
Manchester City 3rd.
They have not been
Really,
dominant,
for the
brother.
first time this season, is the first of all of us to grow a pair and say,
listen.
screw it, there's a new top 2.
Listen, what I'm going to say about Manchester City is that obviously, 99% of the time, I'll say they're probably 1 or 2 strongest team in the world. But you come off of an Arsenal tie where you had to leave it late. You were already down 2 goals or a goal, 1 goal, and you basically had to bank on a red card to try to save that game. wasn't a really strong performance. In the Champions League, we already spoke about Inter versus Manchester City. Could they have won that game? Yes. Did they? No. So that's a draw. Then they go into their most recent game. I forget who they played.
Man City?
I'm blanking out.
Oh no, I thought you were talking about.
Liverpool played Wolves.
I'm blanking out, but they didn't get a good result. They tied 2-2 again, if I'm not mistaken.
No.
Could it be?
No, that's not possible.
They tied Newcastle 1-1.
Exactly. So
It did, yeah, it's true.
so right now the results are not coming. The goals are not there. Could you blame it on a KDB absence? Maybe. But
Rodri, maybe.
Rodri too is
Big
probably a
boys.
bigger piece than KDB right now for that Manchester City squad. I think 3 is acceptable. They're not winning games.
I can't say that. Like they're still undefeated, I believe. And the only thing I see of your argument is maybe an injury of Rodri changes their season, an injury of
too?
KDB changes the season.
Bro, you know what?
But you're forgetting, Foden is not playing yet. There's a couple of big players
I know,
that
but
have
that's why
yet
it's
to
a power
show.
ranking.
They're 1 point behind Liverpool in the table, having played Newcastle, Arsenal, and Chelsea already.
To
But
me,
name
that's
the other
that's an
teams that they
achievement.
played, bro.
Okay, but they got wins against Chelsea. They got a win against Chelsea,
And they're in
and
the
then
beginning
played
of the season.
Arsenal, Newcastle, and got draws.
Unfortunately, you want to be number 1 on this
No,
list.
you know what?
brother.
I don't
You
think it's
gotta win.
crazy, Millie. I
Gotta
don't think
win.
it's crazy. I think it was crazier to say this like earlier in the season, but at this point, I think you're the first one to just come up with the because I naturally put them in a top 2.
Yes, I agree. I think the natural reaction. I had them in my
I don't think
original
that should
top
be a
2.
given.
They were in my original top 2, but right now, listen, there's a lot of teams that can mix and match here, but right now, City is 3. Clearly, there's weaknesses. I don't know what you guys think about them, but that's my number 3.
I don't hate it, Millie.
I don't see weaknesses. You have no KDB and no Foden, so
And no Rodri.
no Rodri. Well, Rodri you can count out for the rest of the season. So
Exactly.
that for me is not a no Rodri
Oh,
situation.
brother, he's supposed to be the best
No,
player on
but-
that team. and
okay,
you're saying
but-
I'm not going to
but-
count it.
For me, I have Manchester City number 2 on my list, so that's why they drop out of that number 1. They're not in contention for that number 1 spot.
Okay.
But you can't. They're still closer to, let's say, a Real Madrid than they are to a Liverpool, in my personal mind.
I could see that, but right now, on form, if you had to pick a team to win the next game, regardless of who they play, Liverpool or
I
Manchester
will never.
City,
Man
once
City.
again, I will never. I've done this too many times. Personally, as a Premier League fan, never bet on Manchester City ever to not win, because they just win. That's all they do. And for them, a draw compared to Liverpool lost a game this season. Like they've lost. Man City have not lost yet.
all right, but there's a reason why we did power rankings at a certain point, and now we're doing power rankings
Like
again at a certain point.
I'm assuming you haven't named Liverpool yet, so I'm gonna assume they're in your top 2.
Yeah.
They lost against Nottingham Forest. You're just gonna probably not give that as much weight as, let's say, a draw to Newcastle. You probably view Man City draw against Newcastle in a lighter fashion.
I give that more weight than, let's say, a Nottingham loss to Liverpool.
Why?
Because the context-wise, Liverpool, you come in with an Arne Slot. I'm not sure when they lost versus Nottingham Forest, but it was
was
within
only
the
a few-
first 3 match weeks.
No, it was only
No, it was recently.
Well, what's recently?
It was
3
the
weeks.
game before. It
Two
was the
weeks
game
ago?
before Wolves.
2 weeks ago?
Okay, so the first 4 games of Arne Slot's Liverpool career. All right. I just expect him to, let's say, drop a game because he's working out that team. And what he's been doing has been fantastic
So
for Liverpool.
okay, so you
right?
use that logic for Liverpool.
Of course.
For Man City,
Pep has been at that team for 6-7 years now. He
but
has
now
his
with
players.
no KDB, with no Foden, no Rodri, John Stones didn't start the season fit. You're going into the season now without, I would say, 4 key pieces. He's going to need time to figure that out also. And you know Pep proves this season after season. He's slow out of the gates. Look, this slow out of the gates would be me saying that we're title contenders. But he's slow out of the gates. Him slow out of the gates is 4 wins out of 6 with 2 draws undefeated. You can
point off.
only expect Man City, 1 point in the season, they're going to say, you know what? Let's up the pace here. Let's win every game for the rest of the season. And
right,
they're just
but-
going to win.
All right,
Assuming
but-
they have Rodri though.
yeah, but Liverpool
They've
right
won.
now,
They've won without Rodri before.
at this point, could you say that Liverpool would be first in the league?
They are first in the league.
No, but could you have said that at the beginning of the season, within the first 5-6 games?
But
Liverpool
power
would be
rankings
first?
doesn't take into account your original expectations. Like there's minimal weight to that. If there's more weight, let's say our first power rankings, there's more weight like
Well,
the
of course.
original
That's why I put
expectations.
Atletico third.
But as you go further deep into the season, it's not original expectations, it's how the actual team is.
All right, and how the actual team is for Liverpool right now is exceeding anything I would have thought that team
But
would
they
have
have
been doing.
yet to play Chelsea. They have yet to play Spurs.
All right.
They have yet to play Arsenal. They have yet to play Manchester City.
Well, that's
Let's
the
take what
problem.
Liverpool have done with a grain of salt.
All right.
That you have to base your opinion on what you've seen so far.
Of
yes, but I don't think that putting Liverpool above Manchester City is justified based on who they've played so far. I think that if you give Man City the schedule that Liverpool,
Yeah, but then
Played-
we're going into hypotheticals because
yes, but hypothetically,
the schedule is what it is.
Yes.
Like we can't really say that.
and based on the schedule they've gotten, Manchester City have done better, I would say, than Liverpool.
You know what's crazy?
I don't know. They beat Milan 3-1.
To keep it a little bit light for a second, in our first power rankings, just to go back a second, you both didn't have Liverpool in your top
No,
10.
I didn't.
I had them 5, and Firms had them 7,
Yeah.
which was very different than
Now.
ours was. No, but I'm saying that we had them at 5 and 7. You guys didn't even have them.
Yeah,
on
but then
Yeah.
look at my second power ranking. I had them
Yeah, I think-
4 or 3.
I
I
think
had them 3.
6.
I had them 4.
3.
Firms had them at 5. Millie had them at 3.
So they've been
and you had them
climbing
at
up.
3.
Yeah,
I agree.
No, well, it's not climbing. It's just what me and Millie's questions were before the season for Liverpool are: okay, Klopp is gone now. Will they be able to replicate that form? And if you replicate that form, probably it gets you 5th or 6th on the power rankings. But Arne Slot has actually, in my opinion, taken that team up a level. They're even better than they were when Klopp left them off.
I think we can all agree with
So,
that.
in my personal opinion,
I don't think so.
I have them 3. I said this. I had them 3. I think that Liverpool are a serious title contender, and I would put them right beneath Man City. But still, at the end of the day, I have Man City still as my title.
I agree with you,
favorites.
Varvar. I have them 3rd as well. And yeah, that puts them above Arsenal, but below City, just because they've shown that they could be that guy, that team, I guess, not that guy. Their front 3 is cooking. Luis Diaz is on his best form of his life, to be honest. Salah is scoring or assisting every game. Diogo Jota, unexpected start. He's been amazing.
He hasn't really scored, but he's been that guy. Like he's been a facilitator.
Yeah.
In that front 3.
You know, it takes balls to bench Nunes, who historically has been a good striker, but he's never really clicked in the Prem, especially in Liverpool. And Jota has stepped up to be that guy. So depth-wise, they're even stacked.
I
And they
agree.
got Chiesa and Gakpo on the bench.
I agree.
Defensively, they're good. This is a good team. Like, scary team to face.
Did you say your
I have Arsenal at 3. I mean, that was, I
sure,
said
you
it before. Listen, the Arsenal, I'll be reviewing it next week after the PSG game, but I think the PSG game is Arsenal's first. I mean, City was the big test, but that didn't end up going as a test.
There's an asterisk there.
Yeah, because the test didn't it wasn't a valid testing. Because I would have liked to see 90 minutes of just like full 11v11. But versus PSG, it's Arteta's big test to European football, to Luis Enrique, a manager that's had success before. So I don't know. I'm saying it now: tie or loss, and they get dropped.
But yeah,
they get dropped.
look, Arsenal, it's their first big European game. Who's coming out on top? You already said Arsenal.
I
don't think it's in dominant fashion. I think PSG is not a team that's going to get trampled on.
Is it at Parc des Princes or at the Emirates?
Emirates.
I'm think.
I'll check.
Emirates.
I'll check real quick.
double check first because I'm not saying it's going to make.
I think that actually
It makes a
changes
big
my.
difference.
I think it'll swing the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the game is that close where whoever playing at home is going to change.
Emirates.
It's at home. Yeah, it's at home.
I probably give it to Arsenal.
I think it's a lot closer. Clearly, Arsenal have found it a little surprising European competition, and that was just versus Atalanta. I'm not dissing Arsenal or whatever, but PSG is a different level of European competition. They have historically been very tough in group stages. So, can I see Arsenal winning this game? Yes. Can I see PSG winning this game? Also, yes. Like both teams, it's very, very close.
So there's a poll here, 18,600 votes on the result of the match, and I already made my vote clearly. What do you think the breakdown of it's Arsenal draw PSG
42% Arsenal.
victory?
Yeah.
Okay.
20% draw, and that leaves me with what?
Whatever the left.
Whatever the difference.
change,
Yeah.
which is a pretty big change.
It
Yeah.
depends.
40% change. It's basically saying it's a flip. It's a coin flip.
Yeah.
Coin
It
flip.
really depends who voted on that, who it was targeted to. Because I feel like on Twitter, everyone's just going to go
It's
anti-Arsenal.
on FOMOB.
On FootMob, then I think it's definitely.
What's
I
the
think
demographic
PSG
of FOMOB? But
But I think
62% people think Arsenal is going to win that match. 10% think it's going to be a draw, and 28% think PSG is going to win.
If they could listen, their defense, you can't deny it. Arsenal has one of the best defenses in the world. So if they could lock up Barcola and Dembele, I see them coming out with a win, possibly a tie.
The real question is, João Neves, all this hype for his Liga performances. Streets are saying he's a Verratti regen. That's what the streets are saying. I know that's big praise, especially coming from me, but that's what the streets are saying.
I mean, you wish he was a Verratti regen. Goodness gracious.
I wish he was the Italian
yeah,
Verratti
I wish he was
region,
Italian.
because that brother's good.
My eyes are going to be locked in on him, seeing how's he going to perform against Arsenal. Is the hype there? Is the hype justified?
I think this so far this season he's shown that there is hype. Justified, I think it's a little too early to say, but brother, this guy's coming on the pitch.
What a midfield,
revelation!
Though. What a serious midfield for the future. Vitinha,
João Neves.
João Neves, and Zaire Emery. I don't know about the balance there. I think Ugarte was better for balance in that situation, but he wasn't reaching his potential at PSG. But what a seriously young and like just balanced for now.
Better than Arsenal? Midfield?
Without Odegaard,
Who is it?
With
Rice.
Odegaard.
with Odegaard, bro. Declan Rice.
Yeah, Declan Rice
Odegaard.
probably you could argue is the best midfielder.
Partey's the only one that you can even bat an eye at.
Bro,
That's-
Vitinha, Odegaard. It's conversations to be had, bro.
Oh my goodness.
Have them with yourself, my friend.
That's crazy.
But Partey's by far the worst midfielder in that six. So
Mm,
now, 2024,
bro,
Partey.
one game, like 5 games. Like if I just need a player for 5 games, it's Partey over Zaire Emery.
No. But
Bro, just because he's
I'll
young.
allow you to have your opinion.
And if he
Anyways,
didn't,
who's you said your number 2?
Well, my number
None of
3
us
is
said.
Liverpool. My number 2 now, I had them first, but I'm dropping them down. It's City, number 2.
I have City number
Manchester
2 as
City.
well.
I still have City number 1.
Yeah?
Still
I
have
mean,
City
it's not
number
Very
crazy. It's not
interchangeable.
crazy,
Yeah,
but
they're all close.
I have, and obviously this for me. Who did you have number 2?
I have Liverpool.
Okay, yeah, that's honestly for me that's not crazy, but I just think
Liverpool.
putting them above Man City is a bit crazy right now. Next power rankings.
Yeah, then
I
we'll
think
see.
it could be possible because Liverpool have an insanely hard schedule.
Let's just say I'm buying my stocks a little.
Yeah,
bit.
Liverpool do have an insane schedule.
Insane, like the hardest schedule
yeah,
I think for 2
I've
months of
seen it
any
in a
team
while.
this season.
Factoring
there's
in Champions
coefficients.
League.
Yeah, I'll give you the exact schedule for
There's
Liverpool the next
coefficients
month.
for this that tell you who has the toughest
Yes.
league statistically, but I think for Champions League, Liverpool I think have the hardest.
Really?
So starting
I think so.
after the next international break, Liverpool go Chelsea. I'm trying to see if it's home or away. Let me see if it doesn't honestly matter. Chelsea, Leipzig, Arsenal, Brighton, Leverkusen, Aston Villa, Southampton, Real Madrid, Man City, Newcastle.
God
Real Madrid
damn.
City back to back.
So
2 might be the highest they go after this. I don't know. We're gonna have to see.
The power
They
rankings
might
are going
make
to
it
change.
to
Get your
one.
votes in right now.
if they start playing well in this, like let's say they grab 6 out of 8 wins, let's say wins, I could see them 1.
Definitely. Right now they're
Bro,
in
they
my
have-
top 2.
They have players they have leaders in that team that are not like they're not alien to these type of fixture. There's list
Yeah.
of fixtures.
don't think-
Salah and Van Dijk, bro. This is.
I don't think they go to the Bernabeu and they're like, oh my god, we're playing at the Bernabeu
Yeah.
and
They've
it's-
been there.
like
Yeah.
Milan was that at the San Siro?
Yeah, San
Yes.
Siro.
Like they walked into that San Siro and Van Dijk owned the place.
Yes.
He was basically a
Complete
Milan player.
domination.
Give me the keys.
Give me
Complete
keys, yeah.
domination.
What time we lock up?
Yeah, what time
They
we
called it the Van Siro, no?
God
Whoa,
damn.
that's crazy.
That's some
That's,
LeBronto
that was
shit
the
right
that was the front of a newspaper in
LeBronto
Italy.
is crazy.
LeBronto's
Zero.
crazy. I remember that back in the day.
Complete
That was
domination.
But end of the day, Man City deserved that number 2 spot. Personally, they haven't looked like Centurion City, but this is lining up to be this regular Man City season where they look good at the beginning of the season. You question, do they have it to win the Champions League or are they going
And
to
they
win the
win
Premier
everything.
League? And then they just win everything.
You know
So,
what City reminds me of? Do you remember that Nike advert where it's just like they're killing football with like
Yeah,
those
the
robots, like
robots.
those silver players
Yeah.
with like copies of Rooney, Ibrahimovic, whatever. That to me, that's Manchester City. When I see that team, I think, this is killing football. I hate it.
Like
I hate
it's not football with a U. It's football with tools. Like,
football
that's-
with a copyright
it's because
infringement logo on it.
It's because Pep plays the most risk-averse football. So he takes out
he plays
all
perfect
he
football.
takes
Yeah,
all
it's
the
perfect. Too
risk
perfect.
out of the sport. So like teams like Ange plays 100% risky
Fully risk.
football, but that makes entertaining for neutral.
That's why Manchester United is the most entertaining team.
Brother is just a straight
Because
gambler.
you never know what's gonna happen when United play.
Oh, yeah.
Well, no, like
Now
like,
you know.
like
If they're down 1, they're gonna be
do
down
know.
4.
yeah, Ange could go and play Man City and dominate them, but he could also go play Man City and allow 6. So
Yeah,
like you
yeah.
never, there's no like, You don't know with Ange, but Pep, it's like there's no risk.
There's pros and cons. Like Savinho, for example, he's kind of lost that flair that we
No.
saw.
No,
bro, he's
brother.
lost a
Savinho
little
has
bit.
been amazing for
Versus
Manchester.
Arsenal.
has.
Versus Arsenal.
He has
Brother,
been amazing,
cooked.
but did you guys
Cooked.
see how he stopped kind of taking on the man 1v1 every time?
It's a system
At
now.
Girona-
Risk averse.
It's risk averse. He's always coming back, pass it back, just like Grealish. Just like Grealish.
Pep massages the flair out of players. It's crazy.
You see, after a couple games, wow, they really got it. They really got it. And then after game 5, game 6, you never hear from them again.
Bro,
Pep roulette.
Doku had the aura of like a Tasmanian devil before he joined
Doku leads
Manchester
the
City.
Premier League in dribbles.
But he gave him that job. Like he didn't. He gave that job to Doku. But he also is starting Doku and Savio together right now.
I'm pretty sure Grealish is also top 3 in
Grealish
dribbles.
was good. Grealish has been good recently, which is crazy.
Yeah.
It's
what
not
was their-
crazy when he's 100 million.
I don't
pound
care
player.
about that. I don't care about the price tag.
Yeah, the
That
price tag was
that
bad.
That
job-
only matters for Manchester United.
Yes,
Not Manchester
I agree.
City.
Only for United.
No, but
'cause,
that
their
ship has
pound is
sailed.
So Man City spending 100
No,
mil on
hermano.
Grealish and 60 mil on Mateus Nunes to be 7th-string midfielder and 50 mil on Calvin Phillips doesn't matter.
Because
it's
they
only
wanted-
Manchester
they-
United.
You
Yeah,
tell me. You
because
tell
they
me
win,
Pep doesn't.
unfortunately.
You told me Pep doesn't buy, but
But Pep really
your logic is consistent.
Honestly, Pep outside of his first like 3-4 seasons has not been that good in the transfer market. You heard it here first.
That's crazy to say when you win a
Rage
treble.
bait.
Heard it
Rage
here
bait.
first.
You win a
It's
treble.
not rage bait.
Won the
look
league
into
every
it.
year.
All of his significant investments have not been that good.
I mean, what's the
I mean, that's
barometer
crazy.
here when you win?
But
Those are investments.
because it was off a solid foundation that he built in the first 4 years.
Investments from the past.
Exactly.
We cannot replace him.
When they get relegated,
Ronaldo Silva.
when they get relegated, serious conversations will be had.
Oh my God.
I can't wait to do a
Pep,
rebuild Man
welcome
City.
to Manchester United.
League 2
can't
rebuild.
wait
Rebuild Man
for-
City, 0 transfer budget. Get that on the YouTube.
I can't wait for Rodri to Juventus.
So number one?
No, number 1, boys, reveal it.
Real Madrid.
Hala Madrid.
No, Hala.
They are first on my list. I
have
regret
Juventus.
to put them. Juventus.
I have Milan.
I regret to
It's
put.
true. Where's
Real
your
Madrid.
Juventus?
Probably like 15th. If I
I
actually
find
was
that's low.
making a,
I find that's really
But
low.
whatever. We're not going to speak about Juve again. Real Madrid.
Should.
I mean, look, is there a lot of bias because their starting 11 is so stacked and their performances haven't been as good as the starting 11 looks on paper?
Yes.
I agree.
Yes, but I've done this too many times in the past. Real Madrid,
We
you
can't
give
just
them the
keep
benefit
giving
of the
them.
doubt.
We can't just be giving.
Brother,
I was contemplating putting them second.
Me too.
I was,
but
I put them
I might
second.
have put. I was gonna put Liverpool first, and I said,
That's
you
a
know
little
what?
crazy.
That's a little too crazy. So I
that,
said
that you're going 100%
into the
Yeah.
Liverpool.
into the
Liverpool hype train.
this season performances.
Yeah. But Real Madrid, I think it has taken a lot more time than people expected for that team to really become like Galactico, like a insane Real Madrid squad. But brother, individually, you could just look at those players individually. They're another level. It's just Madrid effect.
it's just clicking now, especially.
Unfortunately, that Madrid game, this is the Atletico Madrid game. We just recorded this right after that game.
Yeah.
I was contemplating dropping them after,
Just because of that game.
just because, brother, Atletico Madrid, I have them 10th, and you're dropping points in the 95th minute. I don't know.
Bro, Juve gets 3 draws. Sound the alarms, bro. Real tied to Mallorca, Las Almas, and Atletico Madrid. All of a sudden,
3-1 for Stuttgart.
number 1, bro.
Mbappe, Vinicius Jr.,
Kenan Yildiz.
Rodrigo, Vlahovic,
Kenan
Nico
Yildiz,
Gonzalez.
Nico
Ah.
All I'm saying is,
Sound the alarms, the alarms.
Mallorca, Las
Thank the Lord.
Palmas, Olas, bro.
Buenos
Arriba,
dias,
baby.
buenos noches.
See you tomorrow, bro.
There's an argument, but brother, I don't have a lot of confidence
Bro,
in other
Real
teams
is,
on this list facing Real
everyone
Madrid.
loves when Real. They just like to just. It's like flirting, bro. It's just like, oh, it's Real. Don't count them out.
15 Champions Leagues, 7 Champions League losses in the finals.
What is Juventus doing in this
Bro,
conversation?
no, forget Juventus. I'm just saying in general, like
damn.
City.
Listen,
You see, their heritage is winning, your heritage is losing. So, like, it's the difference, you see?
this
This is
guy-
why when Varver starts
is
crying about
wild.
Manchester United, I laugh more at him. I laugh, I
Because he
cry.
pulls these out of the bag.
But
Yeah.
if we want to speak about Real Madrid, Mbappe seems to have. I'm not going to say, look, open play, he can obviously do a lot better, but he seems to be picking up form. He has 4 goals in his last 4 games, I believe.
Penalties. He's picking up
penalties.
form.
He's picking up the ball and putting it in the penalty
But
spot.
that's part of confidence. You get a couple goals on that score sheet.
Vlahovic, give him pens to give him confidence.
Yeah.
Harassment.
No, but Mbappe, I could trust him to score outside the box. I could trust him to
But he
score an
doesn't.
open play.
He hasn't.
But he will eventually.
Well,
Vlahovic, brother,
Vlahovic
he's had
does.
4 seasons at that Juventus squad, brother. I need to see something. I need to see something.
They
That's
look
the problem.
dominant. Real Madrid
Scored more goals than
Look,
Lautaro.
Look,
What, now?
Yeah, right now.
It's tied. Oh, actually, no, he scored
We'll see in a month time if Real Madrid can keep that number 1 spot. I personally think they will, but we'll see in a month's time. But yeah, this was our power rankings.
Yeah.
Listen, a lot of surprises here and there. I hope you guys enjoyed, but
A lot of yapping today.
we hope we spoke well about your teams. And if we didn't,
How long is the podcast? 2 hours?
Oh, yes.
God damn, we're spoiling you this
that's
week.
A special.
That's a
Viewers
10
will
Hag Out
love that.
special. It's deserved.
What time
the
is
10
it?
Hag Out special.
Time for us to end this podcast.
9 o'clock.
Bro, I got an assignment due at 12.
All right.
God damn.
Let's call it a day.
Yeah. All right. I guess we'll see them. We'll see you guys.
See you next
we'll see you
time.
guys next week.
Thank
Yeah.
you for watching.
Hope
Peace
you
out.
enjoyed.
Ciao.